We is live.
We live up in the place to be. Yo,
Yo,
welcome to
yo,
the
yo.
ProQuo Show. What's up, bro?
What it is, man? How you been?
I've been fantastic, man. I had another incredible week.
Yeah, man. I
Yeah,
know you
big
did.
things,
I know you
big
did. You had
things.
big things moving for you, man.
Woo!
Your world is vibrating on a different frequency than the rest of us right now.
We in celebration mode still
Yeah, man. We'll get
since
more
the new
into that
year.
later, right? We gotta get more into that later. We
Yeah, we
can't
gonna
we can't
they can
we can't
nibble
let
on
everything
that.
out the bag. Yeah, man. We can absolutely. Absolutely, man. It's looking kind of lovely up in here. I'm looking at all these graphics going all over the place. We got Don Juan behind us tonight. Yo,
Yeah.
do we got to run the intro? Do we got to run the intro?
I mean, I think we could run the intro. The intro's good because then we could share some stuff, you know what I mean? And chop
Yeah,
up the
let's run the intro.
1 minute. Let's
Let's
run
make
that.
it real official.
Definitely. People.
And there it is. Now
There
it
it is.
feels better.
It does, doesn't it?
That's like it's like waking up in the morning, putting on the fresh slippers. You know what I mean? Hopping out of bed, starting your day right. I don't do that, by the way, but that sounds ideal. You know what I mean? But
It does. It does sound ideal. I usually jump out of bed, get my daughter ready for her daycare,
right,
get my coffee going, brush our teeth, get
that's important.
everything up and going
That's
to
important.
the day. It is.
That's how we do. That's how we
Mhm.
do. That's how we do. Speaking of that intro, that's the hook, man. I got the hooks in my head.
Yo, the people don't even understand though. This playlist that we've been putting together, well, Pro has been putting together, is
You
mind
give me too
blowing.
much credit, man. You give me too much credit. I'll take it, but
Nah,
it's
man,
like
you doing
I'm just
90%.
ordering songs,
You
man. I'm just
doing
ordering
90%.
songs.
Yeah, but that you know what? People don't get how important your
Right,
playlist order is. They really
right.
don't.
Absolutely.
And I mean, and the only reason why I can say that is because personally I've done mixtapes, I've done albums, and I've ordered my own music,
Right.
and I've never I put in a 10th% of what you've put in,
Mm,
which is what I should have been putting in, which was that 100. Like, yo, you really got to take it serious because
absolutely.
one
Yeah.
song
Yeah.
flipping
Yeah.
it
Yeah.
it changes the whole vibe, man.
I want to say what's up to Michael. Michael chiming in. What up, Michael Patrick the Bonte? Happy
Yo, what's
Friday
up?
to you as well.
Another
We chilling.
a friendly Lowell citizen.
Man, Lowell's all good. We've been talking a lot about Lowell today, man. You and I
Mm,
back and forth, playing and
yeah,
strategizing, whatever. I love Lowell, man.
Lowell
I
great.
felt like I was the ambassador of Lowell before I moved, and it's funny because I hadn't even lived there for a while. I was in Cambridge after Lowell, and I mean, my thing. I lived in Lowell as a kid, moved to
Mm.
Chelmsford, moved back to Lowell, stayed there for years, went to Cambridge, and then most recently Somerville before here, and
How long were you in the for?
Lowell's always home. Somerville, man,
Yeah.
from like '09 to 17, man. So like 8 years in Somerville.
Mm.
And it was just a continuation of Cambridge. I felt like, you know what I mean? It was one town over, and all your people's in Cambridge, and it's just 2 seconds away.
Yeah, it
So
wasn't too far away. It's like
yeah,
Leominster,
when you
Pittsburgh.
like, I was in Cambridge like 10 years. You know what I'm saying? So when you're in
Mm.
Cambridge that long, that's where you're oriented. You know what I mean? It makes it easy. Unlike here, where I don't know, I don't even go out, dog. Like, I don't really know people like that out here. So it's like, I'm in Alexandria,
Yeah.
and it's like, do the unless I'm doing like a show or going to work or that kind of thing in DC or whatever. I've done a few shows with a few people out here, and that's about it. Like, I don't be checking out the clubs like that because I don't really know the people out here like that.
Hmm.
Every now and then a group of people that I'll know, through hip hop or whatever, will be like, yo, we should go, blah blah blah, and I'm like, all right, and I venture into it. But for the most part, it's been a slow adjustment to the difference in scenes, but it's dope out here. But I love, Mass is obviously where my heart's at, and always will be. So I'll be happy to be bouncing up there soon.
I know it's gonna be great,
you as
man.
well. Yes, sir.
It's gonna be great.
I got a lot of excuses to go back. Shout out to Fee. Yes, sir. Always shout out to Fee. I don't know if he's chiming in yet, but when he is, we gotta say what's up to Fee, even if he's not in. Yeah. So, man, that's just Somerville, Cambridge, Lowell connection. But the Lowell thing, man, what I was saying was, like, for me growing up, like, Lowell was its own mecca. Like, you didn't need to know anything beyond Lowell. Like, when people say downtown to me in my head, it's still Lowell. It's not like Boston and New York City. When people say downtown, to me in my head forever, that's Lowell, And so, like, I used to go downtown with my mother. My mom would be like, we're going downtown. We get on the bus and take the car, do whatever, you know what I mean? Depending on what stage of our life it was. And then I lived downtown. And so to this day, it's funny how, depending where you live, those kind of words and phrases and stuff mean different things. I'm always interested in that. Like,
and bring different feelings too,
absolutely.
It's amazing. I think what's beautiful about Lowell and Leominster, Fitchburg, where I grew up, is the cultural melting pot of it all. You know what I mean? When you have that blessing is amazing, man.
Absolutely. Where I am now, it feels like that in a way. It's like Alexandria, like the school my son goes to. And it's funny, too, because they always lower rank the schools initially, but yet everyone's like, oh, we want diversity. And then it's like you have a diverse school, and then they lower rank it because of the amounts of people that don't necessarily speak English as their first language. So test scores for little kids are lower. And then people are like, oh, we can't move in this community. And it's like, come on, man, what do you want? But I was talking to you today about a friend of mine. I found like a long lost friend. Shout out to Barney Judge, by the way. He's not watching this, but I found a long lost friend, man. Did the Facebook thing, and I started searching the last name and found his like wife. I saw him in a picture. I was like, yo, I ain't seen dude since I was like 12, dog. I mean, this was like my ace from like when I was like probably like 5, you know what I'm saying, to like 12 or 13, and I found a picture of him the other day when he was 7 and I was 7 on a surprise birthday party. I was telling you, and we walked in the crib. His birthday was like 8 days away from mine, 9 days away, and he kept his secret. So he walked me in. We come in the winter. My birthday's in January. I walk in, and it's like, surprise. And I'm like, did you know this? And he's like, yeah. And so it's funny because my son's the same age, and my son cannot keep a secret to save his life. You know what I'm saying? He would have been like, I can't tell you about the secret. I mean, I said to everybody I wouldn't tell you about the secret, and I would have pulled that out of him in a second. But it was crazy. So anyways, I found him, and he's from Lowell too. They moved to like Haverhill, and I was describing the house to his wife. I didn't want to think I was some crazy person, so I was like, yo, when I was like 7, I was jumping out the pool window at Barney. It's like my cousin lived behind the house, and she was like, oh yeah, we know. She's like, I told her who you were. A second, I said your name. He was like flipping out. But at that age, I wasn't an MC. I wasn't an MC at 7. You know what I'm saying? Like, so it's just funny when people find out, like what you did. Like, oh yeah, by the way, I'm an MC and a professor. You know what I'm saying? It's always weird, like these people gonna flip out. You know what I'm saying?
What you came to be.
Because it's so weird. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But that's always interesting, man. But anyways, man.
Nothing like that being, like we were saying, man, Facebook, that was the biggest thing that it did, was allow you to reconnect with someone that you went to elementary school with.
Oh, it's
you know what I mean? And
coolest.
Decades of time going by, and you're like, yo, that's really you. And, that surprise factor.
I went to the Middlesex Street Village School at that time, and it was like 1st and 2nd grade, and like first grade, when that happened, I would have been my birthday then. And it's funny because I lived a half mile down the street. His house was behind my cousin's, but of course we were different schools. You know what I'm saying? So on top of that, that's how you lose connections too, when the schools are different. And like, I would only, even though it was a half a mile, I'd only be able to see him when I went over, like my cousin's house or whatever. But we were talking about, you and I we were talking about back in the day in Lowell, there's this place called the Hi-Hat. And the Hi-Hat was roller skating, right? And this place got shut down in like the 80s.
We had Roll On America.
I remember Roll On America. Yeah, I remember all that stuff, like the Tingsboro Skate 3, all that kind of stuff. But that roller skating joint jump off was big, late 70s into the 80s. That was like the thing. I know it sort of made a comeback, but my point was this. That was back when, and there's a few posts out there similarly, that was back when parents would just drop your behind off, right? When you were like 7, you know what I'm saying? 7, 8 years old. Maybe not 7, 8, 9, 10 years old. They just drop you off and they're like, okay, we'll see you in 3 hours. And it's
Yeah, you
like,
better be outside in 3 hours.
what?
I don't want to have to come here to get you.
Yeah, but those are not the days anymore. I mean, that's
Nah,
how we grew
man.
up. You know what I mean? Like parents would just be like, "All right, you're good." You know what I mean?
Yeah, bro.
and and
We was saying I was in second grade, second grade,
mm-hmm.
walking to school a
We're
mile
saying
at
the same. Yeah,
least
yeah, yeah. Right.
with like two
No
other
biggie.
kids. No, it's all
No
good.
biggie.
Home and back. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Can you imagine that now? You know what I'm saying? Like the
Nah,
kids,
nah, nah,
like you
nah,
know what I'm
nah.
saying? I mean, and I'm to blame because we're the parents, I guess. And it's like it's like we know what we went through, and it's like I'm scared of my kid even riding the bus. You know what I'm saying? But it's like I want him to, but at the same time, it's like I can. Yeah, I got the means to drop you off every morning. I'm gonna do it.
You know what it is too is
for
that
a little bit.
we since that time period,
We'll soften
you
them up.
know, yeah. Well, we've created. There's been more
We
crazy
create
people
the beast,
created.
right? Yeah.
Yeah, like you know what I mean. It's just times cause craziness, and you know when you start to deregulate your values as a family,
Yeah, man.
right? When you know nowadays it's cool for a kid to cuss at their parent. Is it?
I don't know if it's cool, but
What I'm
it's
saying,
not cool in our house.
right? Well, I'm saying, is it? But
No.
yet, if you took a statistical measure on it all, you'd be like, yo, you'd be surprised at how many little kids are cussing at their parents,
Yeah.
and it's cool. Like what?
Yeah, right.
Yeah, that's the point. It's crazy, man.
It's funny because like growing up, I remember. What up? I see Judicious in the back. We got Judicious coming up tonight for 5 Minutes of Flames. Haven't seen him in a minute.
Okay.
Good to see him in here.
What's up,
and
bro?
shout out to Michael one more time. Yeah, I see you talking about the marketing and stuff. Yo, speaking of the marketing, I want to say something.
Michael, what's up, brother?
We have been working on the ProQuo marketing. You know what we've been really working on? We've been working on one of those.
Yeah, that right there.
Let's
talk about the hustle. Should we talk about the hustle real quick?
I mean,
bro?
we do. That's what I was trying to get into. So you bring it to him. You bring it to him.
You know, I think it's like this, boys and girls. When you are going to your 9 to 5, that is your breadwinner, right? And some people, you know, my 9 to 5 is a lot shorter than that actual time, but
you lucky man, right?
I am very lucky.
Or strategic man.
Strategic, yes. Long-term vision, yes. But you know, we've been putting this. We're trying to get an album out by June. At this point,
yeah, June 11th, we're shooting for.
Yeah, and officially, I started this whole thing in like May of last year, more or less, and I collected a bunch of material, and I was, you know, me and Pro, we chopping it up like at that same point, and it was like, yo, I got all these open verses, bro, and you so nice, and we just like, let's do this.
You buttering me up, man.
And for auspicious. No. Yeah. My bad.
Baggage claim. Yeah.
And when we came in with baggage claim, and I started to see what I was writing,
you could see the vision.
Yeah. Oh Lord, say Plord, how you get him on the record? Lightsaber, no sword. Guess we both futuristic.
Yeah.
Like
and you know, it's funny. It's funny because Judicious actually knows. Like I met Judicious through Robbie, and I met him at the time, and you know he'd heard my music or whatever, and he was nice. Or I didn't even know him. I just met him one day, and he was nice. And you know, from different walks of life, he has a background of like sports or whatever. Music, obviously, is like like us. It's like sanctuary. And he was kind of like on that. Robbie, I'm sure, probably told him off camera. You'd have to ask him, but he was like on the would you do like a collab kind of thing? And I was like, you know, my whole thing about collabs is just like never do them. You know, just kind of how. And I always hate saying it because here's someone you like. You're like, all right, you know, I met this dude. This dude's probably real cool. Love to do a collab, but unless my Iron Gate law was always like if I didn't know the person from jump, you know what I mean? Yeah. And if I was in the middle of some big project or something, I'm just I can't have anything derail me. Like if I wasn't in the middle of anything or something, it would maybe be different. That's a couple times where it's happened.
Because I actually did.
Robbie flipped my whole philosophy on that though. You know, later on. You know, sorry.
Well, no, I was saying like I think I actually posed a question to do a feature with you, like a few years prior to that.
Yeah, I think I recall. Yeah.
Yeah, and you was like, no, yo, I'm down, but you was saying the same thing, like, yo, the scheduling is tight, the time, you know what I mean? And I think it was just that whole, you know, COVID hit. I started to go through my metamorphosis stage, and it was like, yo, I just need to like unleash myself and go all out.
Right, time opened up. Yeah,
and then it was like, let me go to the people that I feel like I'm low, you know, I want to aspire to be like, kind of thing, you know. And that was where I started because my pops told me, he's like, yo, you need to make better friends.
Yeah, you were saying that. Yeah.
But I'm like, what do you like?
Well, really? that's part of the hustle too. It's who you surround yourself with, what you know what I mean, what lanes you're in, you know, and how you can expand that. And like I started switching it up, while we're on the hustle tip. And 5 minutes of flames is part of that hustle tip. This is one small little piece, Try to tell people too, use a clip from our show. You know what I'm saying? Use it to market yourself. I know we're talking about marketing the show. People in the chat are talking about that, and then some of these private messages I was getting on my phone as well. It's like people always talking about, exposure and all that kind of stuff. It's like whatever you can do to position yourself in a way, in a way that will be favorable to another person who hasn't heard you, seek that out. But at the same time, you have to balance it with all the other obligations you have. So if you got a job that isn't allowing you to do this, we talked about it before. At some point, it depends how important it is for you. Like as hip hop is an integral part of our lives, which it's always been, my job had to be conducive to it. It had to have benefits. Starting from the first job that I ever had, it had to be conducive to it. And if it's not, I had to think of a way to strategize my life, in a way that could get it. And honestly, one of the reasons I went into academia is because I didn't have the credentials to just hop in and out of whatever I wanted to. And I was thinking about it since the time I was probably a sophomore in high school. I started, at the point where you like really fall in love with this and you see yourself doing it. I was like, I need to think of a way that all my jobs will be conducive to what I'm doing. So I got a rental car job, you know what I mean? To drive to New York.
You thought way outside the box, bro. Because like I was kind of like, for me, I kind of had separation anxiety with the whole deal of, my music kind of thing, where if it's hip, like to me, I had music and that was it. Like I could not say anything tied in. Like I'm not trying to tie in this and tie in that. Like my mind wouldn't even go there forever. Until recently, where it was like, yo, this is it. You know what I'm saying? So I started to see everything open up where I'm like, man, this is actually entertainment. Started understanding the business, being like, man, this isn't just like paint your art. Like it's way more than that.
Absolutely.
And the most important thing, like Pro was saying, was get on that 5 minutes of flames, because we both artists, right? We rock with really good quality music that we create, and we can give you feedback. And if you're dope, you're dope. And if you need work, you need work or whatever. But take that and start showing people yourself.
Absolutely.
Put yourself out. Now we can do that for free. We're doing this, right? This is all free.
No doubt. The other big piece of it is that like a lot of people will say, yo, I want to go do this. And it'd be great too, because we have Kendall coming up tonight. She's going to be an amazing guest. I mean, speaking of like, what we're talking about is trying to help motivate other MCs and other artists to really think about, even do just a little stuff that we're trying to do, right? Just trying to show someone else maybe what might work and what might not. It's like, if you don't have the job in alignment, right? If the job isn't in alignment and it's not part of what you do, it's really difficult. So at some point, you're going to end up making a decision. First of all, you're going to make an analysis and say, do I have the ability? Am I so fortunate enough that I can just walk out into any kind of job, and make it just happen? And for most of us, that's just not the case. It's not the case that we can just walk out without having the credentials that we need. So for me, I had to be like, I knew what I wanted to do. Like I started seeing the picture like around 2000, really career-wise. And I was like, in the back of my mind, I always knew I could probably teach, but had zero credentials to do so. So it was like, I had to think about, would that work with the life that I want to do? Yes. Is it going to motivate me every day to wake up? Yes. Will it pay me enough that I need? Yeah, probably. You know what I'm saying?
Number two, will it motivate me enough to wake up and be like, you know what I'm saying? Versus dreading your day. That's the worst. When I was at Fidelity,
the absolute worst.
Like I liked it in the beginning working at Fidelity. It was great, the pay, but the money was more the driving factor. But the moment that you can find freedom in your work,
yes, sir.
That's like, and listen, if you guys, if you got a decent background, whatever, you don't do drugs, be a RCA, go for Royal Carrier, find a dope position where you can get out of work.
Now, for people that don't know the lingo, that means a mail carrier, right?
Mail carrier, yes.
Roll carrier, okay.
RCA.
I heard you say that multiple times. I never heard that before, so I was like,
So that just means you stay in the vehicle, but you're a salary employee. So therefore, you can get your work done in 3, 4, 5 hours and get paid 8 or 7.
Yeah, I mean, you got that figured out, And those are the things, man. That like I said this before on here, right? Like speaking of Kendall, I used to go to Kendall Square, right, to watch movies in the middle of the day, right? Like only because I could. And it felt to me that I achieved some kind of level of freedom. Like for me, I was like, if I could just have a job, or when I'm done, I can schedule my time to do what I want to do creatively. And if I got some extra time, it's some, it's big right now, right? It's that mental time. It's that, everyone's talking about trying to, de-stress. For me, de-stressing was going to Kendall and watching a documentary in the middle of the day at like 1 o'clock. And I felt so free. I felt like I wasn't even working because I had the kind of job. I was teaching as a professor though at that time, right? But that's one of those things you can do. If you want to, some people are happy with 100 grand, 50 grand, 30 grand, 300,000, 3 million, right? It depends what your level is. For me, I was like, if I can make 100 grand, right? Basically in that neighborhood, plus or minus, right? If I can make 100 grand, have life freedom, doing something that's rewarding and makes me want to wake up every morning, the hip hop will come. You know what I mean? Like I will find that will allow me the creative freedom. And the signature for me would be if I had enough time in the middle of the day, just whenever I want to go, maybe, go see my wife for lunch, or now these days, go pick up my son for school, go to a movie in the middle of the day. Like that was like, for me, that was making it, and so I would do that all the time and it would recenter me, that crazy little thing like that. And then it lets me go be creative whenever I need to. And it's never a burden because I'm like, if I need to on Tuesday, I can go to the mall if I want to, what I'm saying?
You can't, I think for what do they call? They're called like,
Michael said, shout out for the job opportunity info. Yeah, man. That's real.
For real. USPS.com. But anyway, when you have a pastime, or a hobby of some sort that's different than what your goals are centered towards. So watching a movie, playing a video game, doing this, going through your feeds, whatever you're doing for a hobby, drawing, anything, right? That lets you kind of just decompress your mind to let it float free, either learn something or just like de-stress itself. That opportunity is key in life to maintain happiness. And I know for me, going through like, I'm not playing PlayStation, I ain't watching TV, I ain't watching movies, I'm only doing this. It sounded great and I was doing it, but it was ticking me off
too much.
Because I'm like, now it's still there with me, because if I'm watching a movie or if I'm playing a game or I'm doing something that's not productive towards my goals, it kind of ticks there, and it's like, dude, you need to be doing something. You know what I mean? Reminder.
I got when I moved in my first place in Lowell, it's me, Fee, and my man Syntax. We start making our XCal stuff. We had a vision. We got a penthouse apartment, which we could not afford. Right? We got the nicest spot in the nicest building. These were refurbished mills. It was like my dream to live in one of these, right? So we took Syntax's college dorm money that he was getting from his mom, and we said, because he was producing in-house for us, right? And so he made Butter Messenger, you know what I'm saying? So we were following that ski formula, right? We were like, we got this vision. We could be in this place overlooking the city, Jack Kerouac Park. It'd be like inspiring, writing, in the place where we're from, you know what I'm saying? And like be writing the kind of rhymes that touched back, like they felt historic. Like we were talking about, ex-Cal stuff, like the ex-Cal stuff, but all the history of the city. And that's all the way back to my original point about feeling like you're such a part of that city, And so we were making music for that city and what we thought obviously for the world as well. But my centering was like, we're going to get this spot. We flipped it with some of his dorm money, and Fee and I were working at the same job, and we had ability to get cars, and that's why we got the job, because we had to connect in New York to drive down and make songs on the weekends. That was enough for us. It was like, we can work together. We have whips. We didn't have cars at the time, but we that gave us cars, and then we pooled our money. We were able to be in that place. And that's when we made all the records that are on my wall, for the most part. You know what I'm saying? We made all them joints then and launched everything we did later, both individually, and collectively. And it was like that plan worked. It didn't make us into millionaires, but it made us successful in music, successful in a career that launched the rest of everything we would do. Made for me later on down the line, pursuing all those degrees that I knew that I later needed when I wanted to jump out of a rental career. It's like, seriously, you want to take a business degree and do a rental? That's not my whole thing, But it was like, if you don't have that freedom, then everything dies, So it's, and so many times, I see Michael asking too about younger cats and what you say. It's like, we feel so rushed and so pressured to do everything by the time you're like 26. I remember when I was 27, and because I heard that all the time in my head, I was like, maybe that's like the end of where you peak. I mean, like, because everyone was feeding my head with that stuff, like, you got to do stuff when you're like younger or whatever. And I was like, okay. And you start to believe that when that's what you hear. and you see all these artists around you and people marketing young kids. And then you realize
you
later,
start to believe it.
Yeah. And then you realize down the line what happens, and we're never trained to look at this, that the young kids constantly get replaced with another younger kid who's honestly less talented usually, but better looking, right? It's more like a model factor, or they wear their clothes better. And then the talented person who now has clout, who can negotiate, is sort of pushed out for the new hotness, right? And then what's always happens in hip hop, it's this cycle where it's impossible for artists to develop some kind of longevity on a mainstream roster. It's so difficult.
Yeah, and what's great is we see today, because hip hop was a baby, and it's, I mean, you know what I'm saying? So now we see and look at it today and say, look at the legends that still exist.
Yeah.
You know, Ludacris, just showing back a little, not even as far back, but he's got his own show now. You know, these dudes, they you know, Common in movies, like, you know.
But it's a handful, though. That's the scary thing. It's a handful comparatively to how many there've been.
But you still got the OGs throwing shows still, though,
right? And that's beautiful. That's beautiful. But there's just not enough. You know what I mean? It's just like you look at the artists and you're like, where did they go? They didn't really go anywhere. They've just been forced to take it to a lower level because that is not what's being promoted to sell this necessarily.
I mean, labels,
it's some points, but it's also quite honestly, people don't go out to dance and go to the parties and chill that more once they have a family. So they start marketing the, you know, to a younger demographic, which does make some sense. But what we've seen in COVID is that the desire to hear quality music and be entertained for hip hop doesn't change because you turn 27 or 37 or 57 or 77. You know what I'm saying? Is people are at home supporting it because they can now, because it doesn't require you to be out in a club feeling like a fool when you 61 and everyone there's 21. You know what I'm saying? So that's not a good look, you know, and so it can kind of push those cats out. But then you get to see some of these artists and you're like, yo, Chuck D, was he 61, 62? It's like, yo, I'll go to a Chuck D show tomorrow, and I'll go see a new cat tomorrow too, and I'd love to see them in the same venue, but it's not made to feel supportive that way. For some reason, it's like made to be like, yo, all we can be doing is dancing at the same time. We can't go to other kinds of events. You know, dancing's cool, hip hop's cool, partying's cool, but yo, put a conference in the middle of a concert and now you have magic, you know. Stuff like South by Southwest pops off, and you know, but it's like that's not the blueprint and model. That's sort of the exception. But with COVID, you know, things are switching up and people are trying to figure it out.
If you know, I'm watching what you're doing and teaching me the formula as we go along, and as the people see this ProQuo thing explode, they're gonna see the whole process, like how it all started. You know, wait till they see that document you created, man. That document, the bio. What would you call that?
It's like a one sheet, maybe like a one sheet.
One sheet.
Yeah. I mean, those things are important. You know, those things are. I mean, the goods got to be there. You know, sometimes you know I was teaching these classes in like music school and you know college, and people are always like, "Yo, do I need to get my stuff, you know, copyright and published and all trademark and all?" And it's like, yeah. But it's like, let's talk about the art first. Like, let's talk about like where you're at, you know, before you run out and spend $1,000 on, you know, getting some trademarks and doing some stuff that you're never going to use. It's like people want to take it to the nth degree. It's like, yo, don't waste your time on, you know, don't waste 10 hours on making a one sheet unless you got something to one sheet. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? Like exactly. You can have the prettiest documents in the world, but if there's not really a reason for why you're doing them, you know, but it all helps. I'm not saying it doesn't help, but all that stuff is like, you know, cherry on top. But yeah, so like something like this, I know you can't probably see it too well there. If you stop this and pause it and watch it later, you'll see some of the idea. Like, it's basically my little mini bio, Quo's mini bio, a sort of together bio, almost an ad for this show right here. Contacts, logo, and then down here in the bottom corner, which I got some of the banners in the way and stuff like that. But down there in the corner, what that basically is just track listing for like the album. You know, so that's something.
I guess the point is that if you're gonna go work for McDonald's, you don't need to bring a resume. But if you're trying to work for a corporation or something, you need to learn how to make a resume. And that right there is a hip hop resume. To me, I'm like, wow, that's the cover sheet to it all.
Yeah, no doubt.
You know what I mean?
Let's parlay this. So we're gonna get we got two cats to get up here. Well, we're gonna let them first hear a transition into one of our tracks. And so the negative side of all this stuff is when you're doing it too much, right? It's like when you're doing it so much that you don't have that balance.
Yeah.
If you don't have that balance, and then you start to have your immediate team, which can be your family in many cases, somewhat plotting against you, right? If you don't know how to handle it, or you're turning sour on all the people that are near and dear to you, right? So we made this song. You want to tell them a little bit more about it, and I'll get it ready?
Yeah. So, you know, because of the fact that you have for me and Pro, we have a specific character or characteristic actually that
I know which one you're talking about.
Yeah, when we want to try to get something done that we love,
Has some initials.
Yeah. So this is one of those things where you have people in your life that get affected by your drive and your motivations and your dreams and goals and aspirations and all that. So, we had to do an apology to everybody, and especially the current situation, because we're still doing it. So it's more relevant to me and mine's currently. Right. And then I know you went and you threw back. So it was like we took a span of time and kind of collapsed it on one record. So
so here's the 90% version, almost done. 90% of Apologize.
Produced by my man, Legendary. I'm not hearing it, bro.
That was a no?
No, I heard it somewhere though, but real low.
All right, let's try one more time. Let's try it. Let me make it pretty. I think I got the solution for you. Let's try it this way. Bang, bang, bang here. We'll go here. Making sure. I feel like Captain Kirk over here right now.
It could be my system preferences too.
Yeah, it might be you. Don Juan, you hearing that okay? Or we need to bump that up? I'm seeing Don Juan the ghost in the background.
There you go.
Kendall, you hearing that okay? I can see you. No, you didn't hear that? All right, so we're gonna bump it.
Just making sure. I'm like, damn, is my setup?
We're gonna try to bump it the right way. Let's see. You tell me if this is good, Jay. You give me the thumbs up. But when you talk over it, I wasn't sure if that's what did it. So let's try it one more time. We're gonna go. I think I got it straight though. I think I got Command Central all set up now.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. You got to get the kinks out once in a while.
It's okay, people.
It's all good.
Hang in there with us. Everything will be okay.
All right, here we go. I apologize for not getting apologize set the first time.
Dad, when are you coming, Daddy? Daddy, where are you?
Yeah, I miss your company, baby. You know I died for you. 20 feet apart, hardly paying any mind to you. It's so real, trying to balance all my time for you. Woke me off the couch, I fell asleep writing these rhymes to you. Yeah, the trust factor's so big. Eating dinner with the kids, saying daddy on the grind for you. Putting them to bed while I'm working off my head out late. Old faith, shit, I never lied to you. Till we dead, the legacy survived through you. Can't wait to walk your big out with you. Yeah, she say she hated when I talk a lot, but love how that pearl compass sitting in the parking lot. You my whole world, queen, home is my Camelot. Yo, Remy vying for attention, while looking forward to this road to excellence, depressing when you water by your crew. I write a testament, investing in the things I never knew.
I know this hip-hop probably stole a lot of time. All these rhymes on robbery, sorry, I get it big like the lottery, giving it my whole heart and soul, every part of me. Apologies. I know this hip-hop honestly stole a lot of time. All these rhymes on robberies, apologies. Got me switching up the policies, giving us the quality time. I finally promised. Listen carefully. I remember times you were there for me, trying to make it better, but I never wanted therapy. In all sincerity, I always been there for you, but I was raised no emotion, playing careful. Rarely gambled, afraid of being hurt by any woman, so I always played the tough guy. Since high school, hip-hop and I cool. Prince poetry, pro busy writing haikus. Before the girlfriends, lips on a mic grill. Pretty young things to me is a song by Michael. Sure I like you, and I love my family. Relationships fail, few understanding me. Hard for me, and I know it was hard for you. Still in love with the culture and the art form, but not more than my family and my life now. My wife and my son, that's my heart. Put this mic
Dad, I love you.
I know this hip-hop probably stole a lot of time. All these rhymes on robbery, sorry, I get it big like the lottery, giving it my whole heart and soul, every part of me. Apologies. I know this hip-hop honestly stole a lot of time. All these rhymes on robberies, apologies. Got me switching up the policies, giving us that quality time. I'm finally promising.
Man, that's a good record. It's a good record, and it's a good record to channel or transition into
It's getting
the
there.
most official. Unofficial. Could be official.
What?
Might be official. We're gonna put some K Jewelers up in here.
What? Oh, that's looking real official. He's coming with the K Jewelers.
And we're gonna hit him with the Jared.
Oh, it's the competition.
That's not
Jared.
me now. That's not me. I know I'm Jared. You know,
we can't really see the Jared clear enough. You gotta give him a bigger shout. Put that right in the screen. There we go. There's that light. Jared, yeah. Jared. I see what you did there.
Yeah. So to my people, you know what I'm saying, I upgraded
did a
the Queen's ring.
What? You letting that out the bag like that? Okay.
Yeah.
Congratulations to Jay Cruz are in order.
You know what I'm saying? I got mine right here.
What?
I'm not gonna put it all the way on.
So wait a minute. What you saying here is there's an official engagement and a wedding in the future? Is that what you're telling us?
That's very true. Talk about next Friday, my dude.
What? Congratulations to Jay Cruz, man. That's major, man.
Yeah, I'm blessed, man.
That's
beautiful
crazy.
Family and the right one. You know, that's the key.
Well, yeah, that is the key. That is
that's the major key.
That's it. That's it. Absolutely.
Love you, baby. Jennifer. She gonna be Jennifer Silver.
Ooh, that's crazy, man. Crazy. J. Cruz Silver. Wow, man. That's tying that knot official. All right, man. That's the official sponsor.
That is the most official sponsorship for sure. That's why we put the bling up in there, because
I mean it really is, man. I mean it really takes away from my unofficial sponsorship, because my unofficial sponsor for the night was Newton's, and when you say it, it's a lot of fun when you say fat-free fig Newton's, baby, right there it is. And as you can tell, as I usually do, it's a little half-eaten too, because you know I'm really supporting. You know what I mean? So the fat-free fig Newton's, baby.
And you know how that ties into the wedding thing, though, is you trying to lose weight, right? So you get healthier.
I don't know if it's healthy, but I don't know if it's healthy, but it's less fat. I'll say that. You know, something else in there probably not as healthy. But you know, you know what's funny? It wasn't even a health thing for me with the Newtons. They the only food in the world that tastes better with low fat, man. You eat the regular ones, they're dry. Somebody support me there.
I do support that. Yeah.
Dry.
Because it's that extra ingredient.
Yeah, I mean, it's probably got tar in them or something. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? It's got high fructose. Let's read the ingredients, man. I don't want to take away from the potential sponsorship here that we have, but
as long as you ain't got similar to get something there, you good, man.
Yo, we gonna read a couple of these ingredients right here. We got we got figs as the number one ingredient. That's important. We got figs.
That's the first one. That means
that's right out the rip. Right out the rip, we got that. Okay. Off the jump, you got figs. That's a good look. You got whole grain wheat flour. Sugar, unbleached and rich flour, wheat flour, niacin, reduced iron. You know what? It's starting out pretty good, but when you get to the end, when you get down the end there, it gets a little shaky. It's a little shaky down the end. They got
this one.
Yeah, there's a few things.
5, 7 syllables in this one.
Nah, I can pronounce everything in here in this one except there's one that's tough. Thiamine mononitrate. I mean, that's I can do that one. Lecithin. I'm not really up on some of these words. Sulfur dioxide. Yeah, I got that. All right. You know what? It's actually okay.
Yeah, you can't go wrong. I mean, when it comes to sugar choices, fig, especially being the first ingredient, the third, it's for sugar being there. That's the only downside, but it is what it is.
Yeah, man. I'm looking at the percentages here. We got 23 grams of carbohydrates, 8%. 18%. This is what we do at the ProQuo Show. You aren't thinking that you're going to come in and get the ingredients.
Where the girls at? So we can do some wine and dine right now with them.
They're not here. And that might be why you're leaving the show, of course, too, because. But Nabisco, we're coming for you.
Yo,
see you.
Expect a call. Emailing you.
No, we'll be emailing them. We're not waiting for them to come to us.
Exactly. Yeah, we're gonna get you.
We aren't just making those pretty one sheets just for
Ask
music.
Ask it now, shall receive. That's right.
Yeah.
But that record was so good, man. That was a great job, man.
Yeah, I'm actually organizing myself. I'm trying to organize myself behind the scene here. I'm trying to get judicious stuff together. But I think we're gonna do is we're gonna flip the order. We're gonna make sure we're gonna bring in Kendall. And and then we're gonna get Judicious up here. So stay tuned for Judicious, who's coming up. He'll probably be up here, probably in about 25 minutes, and doing 5 minutes of Flames. He got a new cut we're gonna run too. So Judicious, hang on, or make sure you're ready around then. And in the meantime, we are going to bring in our featured guest tonight, and I don't want to say too much to steal her thunder. I don't want to say like everything to steal thunder, but I will say, well, she's kind of in the background right there.
You gotta move me a little bit.
Yeah, it's all good. You know what I'll do? I'll do it this way. Bang. So
there we go.
That's Kendall right there. She's coming up. So Kendall Smiley, if you can read what's under there, cool. If not, we'll break it down more about her in a little bit. But she is, man, she's a bit of everything. She's an entrepreneur. She's a cancer survivor, which is crazy right off the top. I mean, that's just big ups for that, of course. She is a entrepreneur, designer, motivational speaker. She's got a series too that she's going to tell us about too that she's hosting, and just a whole lot of things. Life coach. There's just so much with Kendall. I met Kendall a long time back. We were actually talking about where we first met. We weren't even 100% sure. It was like so many different kind of events that we were mutually at. So it's kind of hard to pick the first one. But we're gonna see if we can knock and get her to come into the room. I'm not sure if Don Juan the Mac is back there to do it, but I'm gonna try, see if we can do it anyways with my powers. You ready, Jay Cruz? You gonna help me out?
I'm
ready, let's knock it in and see if we can get her in. Right. Oh, it kind of worked.
It kind of did.
Oh, there she is. It worked.
Hey!
What's up, Kendall? What's going on?
What's up? I'm so happy to be on finally.
We're happy for you to be here.
Waiting to like chime in every time you were talking.
Sometimes we used to actually bring people in a little bit early, and sometimes we'd wear them out. You know what I'm saying? So we don't want to wear you out, but at the same time, we don't want to wear you out back there either.
What's going on? I want to talk about everything.
Man,
the one thing I really wanted to talk about was visualizing and manifesting, because that's really how I got through.
That's how you get down.
So many things. Yeah, like that's it. That's the number one.
Yo, let's jump right into it, because I knew when we were speaking on that, I was like, yo, Jay, we're in her like waters right now. You know what I'm saying?
I love this stuff.
Yeah, absolutely. I kind of want you to give us a little background about you, but okay. I mean, you can jump into that after if you want. It's up to you, but I don't want to like steal which way you were gonna head. But if it's frontal lobe, we always say go for it here. You know what I mean?
Let's talk a little bit about visualizing, because one of the biggest things that I had accomplished was when I was bodybuilding. So when I was turning 36, I love bucket lists. I'm a list girl. I like to check things off. So here it was, I was looking at all those fitness magazines, and I'm like, I could try that. I could do that. I had no clue. And at the time I was dating my husband, and I didn't have a trainer. I didn't know what the hell I was doing. I worked out and I played ice hockey, but I didn't have a clue as to be like on stage. So he was like, maybe that's not a good idea. So sometimes when you don't really have like a full plan, but you're holding the idea, things come to you. So I just happened to be working with a girl that happened to know a personal trainer, because her best friend did what I wanted to do, which was compete in like figure bodybuilding competitions. Wow. You know,
you just went
within a span of like a week of like putting it out there to the universe, and then all of a sudden meeting someone that knew somebody that could train me. You know, so that's kind of how got the ball rolling. I was in it. Like, I loved it. I did my first show. I remember meeting my trainer. At the time, I was playing all the time hockey, and he was like, listen, you cannot have any bacon cheeseburgers anymore.
Like, no more Five Guys. What?
If you
better be fat-free Newtons.
You know, like, I skated a lot. I ate a lot of carbs. Like, I burned it off. And he's like, that's not going to work. So I started training in March, and the competition was in October.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, during the summer, my parents would have like parties and events and barbecues, and my uncle, I'll never forget, he said, don't you want your mother's chocolate cake? And I said, well, I'm gonna have 500 pairs of eyes look at my butt on stage.
Yeah, right.
Really, I'm gonna be doing like 60 minutes of cardio extra. No. So fast forward, I get to the competition. I'm on stage. I'm loving it. And I actually won. I won first, second, and third. My very first competition. I won first place in it's called novice, like never doing a show before, like debuting. I won second, I call it the old lady category, so it's like anybody over the age of 35, and then
that's the number. 35
I swear a
That's
lot, so I have
crazy.
to like hold back because I swear, so I like
Do what you're supposed to do. It's all good. Yeah,
You gotta let it be natural.
and then I won third overall, so I beat those young bitches. You know what I'm saying? Like 18
There you
and
go.
over, like
There it is.
the whole range. And figure is like a glorified beauty pageant with muscles. Like
Right.
I like anything sparkly, anything bright, and anything like that. But prior to all that, I met you. We're from doing fashion shows,
Right.
and
And you were sparkling and bedazzling then.
and that happened to be because I was dating someone that was a DJ that got me into like the Boston scene, and then when we broke up,
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm gonna do this
Keep
on
doing
my
it.
own. Like I'm gonna
Right.
I love the
Yeah.
And so I was in the Boston scene, in the New York scene, doing Fashion Week and all that.
I want to say I
And
saw you at a b-boy event first. It was like the first
Probably.
event. Yeah, the b-boy big girl event. Yeah.
So, and I know like the earliest I can remember was like 2005. So we
Yeah.
are really dating ourselves here.
Yeah.
We look
Yeah.
good. That's all that matters. We look good. So
I
That's
was
the most
man.
important
I think it might have even been earlier. I
It
was
was
doing
probably
Lansdowne
earlier.
Street until
Yes.
like 2004.
I
maybe.
remember
So I think,
Lansdowne Street.
Yeah, so I was doing that like 2002 to 2004. I
Yep,
want to say.
yep.
Wow.
And
Yeah.
I came on the scene probably about 2002. Yep.
Yeah,
It was
that
about
makes sense.
2000.
That's about when I think it was. And then what's funny is I was giving a shout out to Fee. Fee's my partner from Mexcal, and Ruby Shabazz, who I know you know, and I think you did a fashion event with them in Lowell, if I'm not mistaken, right? Yeah. And so you were hearing the Lowell in the back there, probably going, yeah. So
Yep.
shout out to Fee and Ruby.
So here it is. I am like, I kind of like this competition stuff,
Wow.
So after that, I'm like, I think I might try to do this again. I thought I was one and done. I wanted to just check it off the list, but I'm like,
Yeah.
this is kind of cool. I like
This
it.
works.
So now it's 2012. I am like tunnel vision. All right. I did 4 shows. I won first place in all 4 shows,
Wow,
winning me
that's crazy.
my pro card. Now in order to win a pro card, you have to beat everyone in your category, which I was like short. So anybody 5'2" and under, I won first place. And then everyone that wins first place, medium and the tall, you had to beat them also. So all the
Wow.
first place people, I had to beat them all in order to get a pro card so that I could compete for money. Because really you just compete for a trophy. So
Yeah.
now it's like the big time. Now I could compete for some money.
Right.
So
right,
there was
absolutely.
there was one particular show. Now, I don't know if you know the bodybuilder Jay Cutler. He's from Boston.
Yep.
I've heard that name
And
before.
Yep. me too.
he hosts like a big show in the Boston area around Copley. And he's connected with they're not natural. Like I'm a natural
Yeah,
bodybuilder.
yeah.
I'm
Not
not
exactly
gonna be
natural,
on I'm not on steroids.
Right.
I'm not saying it's not for me. So I had a big debate with my trainer because he said, why are you, this was like the creme de la creme, I just want to just try it just to see. And we went back and forth, and I love Ed Mazzucchelli, from Marshfield. But he was saying, he's like, don't do it. Why are you going to do it? You're competing with people that they're doing steroids and you're not. So why would you want to put yourself in that situation?
Yeah, right.
So in order for you to go from where you are to where you want to be, right? Like they all say, all the little manifesting gurus, you have to see it in your mind.
Yep.
So because he was like dead set against it, I'm like, I have to do it now. I was like, I got to do it. So like I would put it in my phone that I was a first place figure competition winner. I would write it in my journal. I had vision boards, like so in it. You know,
Yeah.
I ate all the things I needed to eat. Like you no wasn't cheating. Like why? Like this is what I wanted to do.
Right.
To the point where I even Googled what the stage looked like so that I could see myself on the stage looking at the audience. I knew what suit I was
Yep.
wearing, like to every little bit. So here I am on stage, and they call it's the top five, right? And they get down to three, and we're clapping, and we're standing, and I'm posing,
Mhm.
and I'm like, I might actually win this shit.
Wow.
I was saying that in my head
Yep.
because of the fact that everything played out exactly the way I
You
visualized it.
thought about it,
Word.
yeah.
Because if you can't see it in your mind, there's absolutely no way that it's
Yeah.
gonna come to fruition.
Right.
The headphones that I have on, somebody created those because they saw it in their mind before it became tangible. So
Yeah.
in
Yeah.
order for you to have anything tangible, but you also have to feel it. I had to feel like I was a winner. I
I
had
understand.
to embody that. You
Hmm.
know, in order for me to nobody in my family did bodybuilding. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
no
Right. Right.
nobody
Right.
did that before, so
Yep.
I didn't see it amongst the people that I was around. You know,
Absolutely.
nobody I
Yep.
knew did it. I had to, but
Look,
when you seek out something and you might not know how to get it, things kind of come to you. They flow to
They
you. They
find a way,
flow.
right? Yeah.
They
Yeah. Yeah.
find a way because you're open to receiving.
mm-hmm.
So that competition I won, and exactly 6 months after that, I was in the best shape of my life.
Hmm.
I got breast
And
cancer,
that's. Oof, yes,
Mm,
I knew that was coming. Yeah. Hmm.
mm.
and I was engaged. So congratulations, Johnny.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Thank
I
you.
was
J. Cruz.
I had just gotten engaged. I was in the best shape of my life. I had put in a bodybuilding competition for that summer. We were getting married in August. Now, this is 2013.
Right.
This is February. I'm doing overhead press. I'm feeling like a superstar. It's like 35 pounds, and I dislocated my shoulder.
Oh.
Mm.
Now, I'm an occupational therapist, so I could pop my shoulder back in, but I was like, oh shit, that really hurt.
Yeah.
You
That's the
know what
real
I'm saying?
deal.
Like,
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
and in the same week, I found a lump in my breast. You
Hmm.
know, and being in healthcare, you try to like make sure that you stay on top of it, but
Right.
when you're young, and I'm not of age to be like getting a mammogram at the time, so
Yep.
people didn't really take you as serious.
Yep.
Not that you got brushed off, but you have to be um, very like on it. Like you have to let them know, like, hey, I think something's going on. I want you to follow up. Can we check this out? So
Yeah.
after
Yeah.
like doing
Yeah.
the runaround and finally getting someone to check it out, I ended up going to the Brigham, having a biopsy on Marathon Monday, the same day as the marathon bombing.
Hmm.
So,
Damn.
Wow.
so
I got,
That's number three.
literally,
I got a
so
story
lit,
about that day. Let me tell
so
you.
literally, I am in, and I know like when I was getting the biopsy done, I kind of had a sense when they brought in the second doctor, like this isn't, something must be going on. And this
Something's
was on
Yeah.
a
off.
Monday. I said, when are you going to get my results? They're like 5 business days. So like by Friday, I walked out of the Brigham, and I had lived in Weymouth at the time, so I took the train in because like no way you're gonna drive into the city on marathon money. Had all intention on going to the finish line because my best friend had ran the marathon before. I had, it's a tradition. You like go, or people just go to watch whatever.
Yep.
And I remember telling her, I'm kind of sore. I'm gonna, head back. And at the time, I had little ones. The boys, I had the twin boys were about five.
Hmm.
They were 5 years old. So I just wanted to get back and like take care of some things. And when I got out of the car, like got off the train and got in the car, that's when I heard the bombing. So it was like literally 2 minutes leaving the hospital that the bombing had gone off, and I would have
Wow.
been at the finish line.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Mm,
Wow.
mm, mm,
Yeah,
mm.
I gotta tell you this too.
Mm-hmm.
This is crazy. Just that we're talking about this. So my son was born on that same weekend. in Brigham and Women's. And for people who don't know, Brigham, as we were talking about, Brigham and Women's was one of the main places where all the people were being brought, and they thought that they had the perpetrator at Brigham and Women's because there was this gentleman, I believe he was an Asian gentleman, and he had burns all over his hands, and they thought it was suspicious, and they thought this was the person who planted the bomb. So this is the day we're leaving the hospital. My son was born a couple of days before. We were leaving the hospital. We saw it on TV. I started figuring out that this was going to happen. I figured out that it was going to be crazy at the hospital, right? I mean, it's like Escape from New York, like the movie.
Yes.
I couldn't get out of the hospital. They were barricading the doors. I'm like, all I want to do is take my baby and go home. It took us hours to get home. We cut through the hood, actually. We started trying to go down Front Street, and then we went all the way back through. We were literally cutting all the way back. We went from Roxbury to Mattapan, trying to come all the way around to get back to the highway. And we eventually it took us like 4 hours to get home, like 6 minutes. You know what I'm saying?
Crazy.
It was insane.
Time.
Blood in the elevator. I mean, we couldn't get an elevator. The police wouldn't let me out the door. I had to make a deal with them. I was like, yo, I gotta go outside this door. I gotta pull my car up. I got the baby seat here. I just gotta get my baby and my wife out, man. And it took like 40 minutes, but they let me out of the place. So that weekend, man, I'm ingrained with you on that trauma of that weekend. It was crazy seeing.
I got something with Brigham and Women's. Yo, I got my Achilles surgery there.
I've had a couple of surgeries there. They've been good to me.
Yeah.
But I still don't think people realize like how all up in it Brigham and Women's was. I mean, it was like every elevator, dude, was covered in blood. Like it was they were blocking main ones off. It was sick. Yo.
It's like that.
It was crazy day.
Timing. And that's how we're all. I talk about this on the collective chat. It's called quantum entanglement. We're all connected. We're all energy. We're all particles that we're gonna have a reaction towards each other, even if we don't speak. We energetically are gonna feel the emotion of what's happening and what was going on. I remember not only was my phone ringing off the hook because somebody always knows I'm up to something that they might have. I had done 2 marathons prior to that, so I had never done the Boston. So people I hadn't talked to in years were calling me that day. Never mind, the next day I found out I had breast cancer.
Wow.
Literally the next day. Wow. So you had all of this going on in the news, everybody calling for me from my friends from New York, from DC, calling, and I just got hit with this news this is ultimately going to change the course.
Incredible highs and lows back to back. It's just unbelievable.
It was so emotional.
What do you attribute to pulling out as successfully as you've done from the cancer?
You have to know that when you are low, your body hears that you are low. And working in healthcare for so long, I had seen that. I knew that person that walked across the street and got hit by a car and their whole life changed. So from the beginning, since I was very early on in healthcare, I knew that I don't put shit off, because you don't know if you're gonna have that moment again. So I've always been
that's the common sense part.
Why don't we just try it? And a lot of people don't want to try new things because they're afraid that they're going to fail at it. But if you don't try, then how are you going to grow? And in order for me, I know in order for me to go from just it being stagnant, I need to put something in there that's going to challenge me so that I can be different, be a different person. Right. That's how we feel good. Because when you're staying the same and doing the same shit, then you don't feel good energetically. So I always knew how to pick myself up, but this was the ultimate. I was planning a wedding. I was raising twin 5-year-old boys, and I had no idea what the next step was gonna be. I just knew that I was getting down that aisle in August.
Right.
That's a differentiator.
That's crazy. Yeah.
Look,
you might. I'm sorry.
Go. Say what you gonna say.
First of all, I was going to say, you might be the most interesting person in the world. I mean, when you just run down the stuff that's in your, not even that stuff. I mean, just how you introed. She was playing hockey. First of all, stereotypically, not a lot of female hockey players, right? And of color. So you got a female hockey player of color who becomes a bodybuilding champion, right? Who's run a couple of marathons.
I still play hockey.
That's crazy, and that's just the
Still
tip of the
play hockey,
iceberg.
that's dope.
That's just tip of the iceberg. And
It
fashion
shows
design,
her
entrepreneur.
story's incredible
crazy.
to the most important thing in life, which is the power of the mind and saying that you are what you
powerful.
think.
Mm.
So when you break down the level of how you think, the lengths it can go. Look at Kendall. Kendall's showing. I mean, to the process of her going from a person that has nothing to do with bodybuilding to becoming a champion and keep going and going. And her mind created that because she thought she was going to do it. When the person shooting a jump shot, right, like Larry Bird knew that was going in when he let it go. You know what I'm saying? It was in his head, right? So the details of your thoughts are the strongest mechanism to propel you forward and get you to where you need to go.
That's right. Because
all
your
the way
mind,
around.
your mind doesn't know the difference of what it's when you're visualizing. It has no idea if it's real or if it's not
That's right.
real.
Yep.
It has no concept of that.
Yep.
So if you can play it out, like I know what my house is gonna look like. I know what the pool's gonna look like. You know, like I see it. I talk to my kids about it.
And then how fulfilling is it once what you've put in your head? See, the thing is most people don't even get that first one where it's like I see it and it happened.
Yep.
And then like, oh, let's do it again and again. But when every time you achieve that vision, the reward is like I mean, if anybody.
But then I'm on to the next. I'm like, okay, what's next? It's like a little game, almost like a little game because you can, but it gets a little harder. Because I try to do something a little bit bigger, a little bit different.
Yeah.
You know? And that with all of that stuff that went on, in 2019, I manifested doing the Boston Marathon. So I came full circle and I ended up running the Boston Marathon in 2019. I hate running. I absolutely hate running.
Me too.
But, you know what I'm saying?
I don't love it.
I'll
do it. But
I'll play back.
Got a coach.
I
I convinced a friend of mine to like coach me. She's like over 60 and she does marathons for fun. And it took me like a good month to like say, hey, I haven't ran a marathon in 10 years and I need some help.
And that's the difference between being naive, right? Like these people are naive, like you can't will it to existence.
I want to say I know this because I am open to learn, okay? And when you're open to learning different things, then that's going to help you to become anything that you want to become. And it's so hard for people to and I get stuck in it too, what people are going to say. Like, I'm sure when you decided to do this show and people are like, why would you do that? And who's going to watch you? And everybody always has something to say.
Right.
And you also have something. You also have that voice in your head. But you got to shut it down sometimes.
Yeah. My wife coaches. She does executive coaching. She calls it her gremlin. You get that gremlin on your, that's kind of telling you, you know what I'm saying? You can't, it's not going to work.
What you have to listen to is your intuition. When you can, when things are feeling good, that's how more good can come in. And you said that too, like when you're in alignment. And how do you get in alignment is because you got to feel good. So if that means you got to have your sugar-free Fig Newtons because it makes you feel good, that's going to help produce more good for something else to come in. And it's hard to go from like here to like the
is that
mega
true for
mansion.
Diet Caffeine-free Coke too? It's like, mentally that's doing it for me. You know what I'm saying?
I want to be a millionaire. I want the mansion. I want the pool. I want the house. I want someone to fucking cook for me because I love to bake.
I mean, I can't wait to have that. The maid, I'm the same way.
Yeah,
make my bed in the morning.
I'm not comfortable with it. I'm okay.
In order for you to
that's
get
too much.
there, you got to start like small. Like I've got 3 boys, and they're now the 2 of them, the twins are now teenagers, so they are taking like a little bit longer showers as we are going through puberty in my house,
They're just seeing what's going on. That's all.
And with all of that, everything, I was able to have a child, and that's how we had Zion. I mean, that's a whole nother piece because not only when I got diagnosed, I had never had children.
Right.
And I I never tried to have children, so we had to think about like going through IVF and freezing my
Right.
eggs because I was older, you know,
Yeah.
I was
Mm.
how old was I? I was like 36, 37 at the time.
Hmm.
So I hadn't tried,
You weren't
and
sure. Yeah.
now you have to wait so many years in order to be off or be on your cancer medication and then be off of it in order to
Right.
have a child. So we decided to freeze our eggs, and
Sure.
this is all before we even got married.
Wow.
So
That's probably a
it's
smart plan though. You
so
know.
when you
Yeah.
think about choosing your a partner or someone that you're connected to, that's that whole thing in sickness and in health. We hadn't, like I said, we hadn't even gone there yet. We hadn't even taken the vows, and all of this is happening.
Hmm.
So we are connected with people because they are a reflection of what we want inside of ourselves.
Hmm.
You see, so we can look for it in other people,
Yeah. That's
or it's radiating off us, and that's why we're attracted to them.
right.
Yeah.
How does
That
this? I was gonna say like it was a couple of things. I want to get into your show because I want to talk about like how this manifests itself in the positivity chat. So keep that in mind. But the other thing I was gonna say is there's you being a life coach and hearing a lot of your philosophies and sort of your guiding paradigms, if you will. Where does spirituality come in for you, or does it?
I I went to like Catholic school,
Well,
elementary school.
that can mess you up.
Yeah, the nuns and everything. I was like,
Mm,
my parents, were Catholic, and then my dad grew up Methodist, and then they both went to Baptist
okay.
church, and so it's like a whole everything. It's
Yeah,
not that
I can
I
relate.
definitely
Mm.
am becoming more aware of spirituality in a sense that we are all connected, whether it's
Hmm.
people that have passed on, like my mom had passed away soon after I had my youngest son. But I can feel her, and I
Mm,
think of her, and we connect through numbers. And just
Mm.
recently,
mm,
this is how life is so interesting. Before Valentine's Day, my father had just given me a letter that he found in an old trunk in the house because he's been doing a lot of renovating since my mom had passed away, putting his like stamp on the house and decorating. In this trunk, he opened up. He found two letters, one addressed to me and one addressed to my sister, that was dated April 27th, 1989, that said, "Open in my death." My mother wrote this letter when I was 13 years old
what?
to tell me about who I was and about my future family, my children, my husband, and the kind of person that she wanted me to be, and that I
Wow.
was, that I embodied. And I was crying, I was laughing,
That's
because
the gift and the curse right there, though.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
here it
yeah.
is in her passing. I'm still getting a message, and that is not only love from
Mm,
beyond. I mean,
Mm.
that's her speaking to me, and she's not here in the physical form.
wow.
So if you talk about spirituality, I mean,
Yeah,
she knew it hit me at the right time when I needed her.
that's
Yeah.
crazy.
And
You
there's no
gotta.
joke about what you're talking about being the numbers. Listen,
Oh yeah,
the numbers in
yeah,
life are
yeah.
incredible when you start
and
paying attention.
anything you can connect to for intuition to say that you're validating yourself is good. So
Hmm.
yeah, I talk to her through numbers. Some
Yeah.
people I
Nature,
am
even, right?
nature. I live
Yeah.
in the woods. I love the city, but I decided to like move. I had no intention, but I decided to move back to my hometown, and it was like the best thing I ever did because that's how I'm around cranberry bogs, trees. I'm like touching the trees,
Hmm.
but I'm also fifth generation Cape Verdean in
Yeah.
that town.
Mm,
We came over in the late 1800s and settled and bought land, my great great grandfather, and now my father's families, cousins and aunts and uncles are all in like little walking distance in the little in our town, and we have a
yeah,
corner
yeah, yeah.
dedicated to our family because we're one of the
That's
oldest
cool.
family in the town. you
That's
know
crazy.
Yeah.
So-
Yo,
that's cool.
do you know? This is just totally off the cuff. Do you know Cheryl Sklar?
Maybe.
Cheryl Hope Sklar. She's a Massachusetts fellow person who does the bodybuilding and stuff. And I was just thinking about the era and where we
Maybe.
met and all that stuff. And I was
Maybe.
thinking very similar. Maybe I'll have to.
You
I'll
know,
have to ask her if she
between
knows you.
bodybuilding, fashion shows, therapy, running,
Yeah.
ice
I'm just
hockey,
realizing how similar you are in some ways.
I
Yeah.
have like different people that I know from like different.
Yeah, no doubt.
You know
I don't-
where I met you.
So what's the deal with the show? Can you tell us a little bit more about that?
So it started in 2015. It was 5 of us. I had started with 4 of my friends. My friend Lee, he's a photographer. My friend Jose, he was another Cape Verdean guy that also had a Cape Verdean fashion magazine. We did a lot of fashion shows together. My friend Vanya, who was a photographer, makeup artist, very funny. And then my good friend Jen, who is PhD in physical therapy. So we had like different views, and we talked about health, wellness, money, getting your shit together, and you know, things go in waves. It was going great, and then you know, I got pregnant. This one kind of went this direction, and then with before the pandemic hit, I decided to like, let's bring this back. And then the pandemic hit, and then it was like, since it was my baby, I might as well take the leap and do it on my own. And so a lot of it is just like showing people that you can do it. Like, I'm just a regular gal that just decided to like switch it up. That's all. And if you
Right.
just like get even like a little bit focused, not even a whole lot, just a little bit, you can just create so much good energy to come in that you're so unaware of, but you're
Absolutely.
open to it. So that
How
you
do we-
know,
How do we find it? So is it what is it under on YouTube? Is it Positivity Chat?
it's called the Collective Chat.
I keep calling it the Positivity Chat. I'm sorry.
It's-
Yeah, I keep
it is about
because you're so
positivity.
positive. I keep saying
And yeah, you know, I mean, I have moments. I cuss out my kids. I keep them.
That's yeah.
They got their phones taken away because they weren't walking the dog. You know, like yeah, like. But I'm also like you in a interracial relationship. My husband's a tall white Irish guy with red hair. He's Irish, English, and German. So my son is a little bit of everything, and he had 2 boys when we came into the relationship. I didn't give birth to my twins, but their mother was never is not involved in their life at all.
Okay.
And they were 2 going on 3 when I met my husband. So they've always
Right.
called me mom. So I'm
Yep.
raising 2 white boys to make sure that they are well versed in culture because they are raised by a black mother. They are in a Cape Verdean family, and they have a little bit of everything. So
Yep.
Yeah,
not
it's
only
important.
that, they have black grandparents. They got gay grandparents because my father-in-law is gay and is married, and they have an eclectic mix of everything. So when they were growing up,
Yeah.
we had to break it down because
There's no choice.
9 times
Yeah.
out of 10 people think I was the nanny when we would
Right,
go to the
right, right,
grocery
right.
store.
Absolutely.
So they had to be schooled on what was appropriate and what not to do because of the fact that this is real, and people were not gonna associate a black woman with white children versus a white woman raising black children, which is a little bit more common around this area where we live, you know. So
Don Juan is being funny. Yeah, I don't know if you saw
I saw
his
that.
shit there. Yeah, so I see you, Don Juan. You're funny, man. You're
Oh,
funny. By the way,
I
no, I'm sorry. Go
Go
on.
ahead.
I was gonna say, by the way, what is the appropriate comeback to somebody who asks you, "Are you the nanny?" Like, what's the nice way to shut them down? Like, how do you do it? Like, give us the 4-1. What's the nicest way you've ever shut that down?
It was not even that. It was like, I remember when my kids were playing basketball, and we were new to the area, and you know, coming back, and they had a young boy that they friended, and I was saying, "Oh, I'll gotta talk to the parents so we could have a play date." And the father was like in his second marriage, so he was a lot older, and he looked at me. He said, "Well, how did you get these 2?" Like, where did they come from? Like, because they didn't see my husband. You know, they didn't make the connection, and I was just so taken aback. Like, he caught me off guard. Like, what? You know? And people, they don't know what to say sometimes.
Yeah,
and
crazy.
You know, you like nicely interject. No, I'm like, I am their mother.
And see, that's why I'm trying to call the collective chat the positivity chat. Because you got the positive spin on it. I don't even know what I do. I'd just be like, people with money live in your town and look like all different shades. You know what I'm saying?
And that's because they're not exposed or they don't know any better. And so and then too, my boys, now that they're in they're in 8th grade, people don't know that they have a black mother. You know, so they're gonna be and I tell them, you're gonna be privy to things that a black man is not gonna be able to hear, and you're gonna have to decide how you are going to interject what you're going to say, because they're going to say some stuff that you're going to hear that is not going to be nice. Yeah. So how you got to slide it in, you know, and they're hearing it now. They're hearing it now. You know, so we held out. They just got cell phones this past Christmas because of the pandemic and having to be home alone. Yeah. Like we held it. We were like one of the last parents to give them cell phones. But I was like, who do you need to call? Like, my father was around the
Ghostbusters. It's a fight we are going to have to fight.
I was a helicopter parented, but I really wish them. So they have cell phones but they see things they see it, you know, and and we live in a very gun-toting Republican Trump town, so everybody had their flags out, but we had our Black Lives Matter signed right by our mailbox. Yes, we do. You know, even our neighbors who like consider us, I love them and they love us, and they have their Trump banners across their garages, whatever, you know. Who cares?
See, the positivity chat. You got to consider being the positivity. I'm telling you.
Make sure y'all follow her
that
on
ain't
IG.
taken. Yeah,
IG,
absolutely.
The collective chat. Right?
Yeah,
I'm just getting with the slap shot in hockey. That's all.
Yo, Kendall, before we get you out, I was gonna ask you. This is what I was gonna see. Would you maybe I don't know if you got something else that you gotta do or whatever. I was gonna see if maybe you can hang on for a bit too, because we got my man coming up after Judicious. We got Jay's
so much to talk about.
No, we got someone who I think. Don't you think her and Fly would have some things to talk about? You know what I'm saying? So we got Yahweh coming up in a little bit. He's gonna jump in with us too, and I think y'all need to build.
Yeah,
man.
this is like my alone time without the kids.
All right, cool. Please stay then. We're gonna bring you back up.
Okay.
And speaking about saying some things, check out Judicious. We got Judicious coming in here in a second. So you all checking out Kendall Smiley, the host of the Collective Chat. Thanks for coming through with us, and just letting us know that you are the most interesting person in the world.
I'm gonna shuffle it and tell you a little bit about myself. So my name is Ashwani Jain, and I use he, him pronouns. I'm a 31-year-old who's been lucky enough to beat cancer and go from a Make-A-Wish kid to a Make-A-Wish.
It's still coke, still dope, still cocaine. It's low flow, still lyrical ill, spit propane. Up in your grill without that profane. Road rage, it's ProQuo, bro. That's the flow plus the show's name.
Technical difficulties back there.
Wow,
So
that's all good.
I don't even know what happened. It just popped on the screen. I didn't touch a thing. So anyways, we got my man Judicious in the building, and we're going to let you all a little public service announcement before we run this. So we're playing YouTube, and sometimes the FB police will come out, and sometimes this portion of the show or maybe the whole thing you won't be able to watch later until it kicks in and they realize that it's not a copyright claim. So if you want to find us on YouTube, by the way, we made it real easy too for our YouTube page. There's a Hip Hop Citizen YouTube page as well. Our little page that isn't cool enough yet to have its own name. We just made a tiny URL, right? So you do tinyurl.com and then / for our show. It's the ProQuo Show. And so that's it. That's all you gotta do to find our YouTube page. So, anyways, because you can watch it there without it being interrupted for sure. You can find it on Hip Hop Citizen. So we're gonna run this. This is Doomsday Versus, and we're gonna check out what's up with Judicious with this this lyric video. All right.
All right.
Yo. This ain't a diss track, just sit back while I kick raps and spit facts. Hey, what the fuck is happening to rap? The crap you're blasting must be rappers like the plastic up in the trash. A rack of ribs, a bag of chips, a Snapple, half of an apple. Happy Meal, giraffe, a falafel, a spackle, tobacco. I'm saying propaganda, stop the band, the drop and dance. A bitch, I'm not the Santa, Papa Fanta, not the Sands, bruh. Sorry, little Sand, you're not the answer. Dancing, prance around and stand in vans. Papa Doc, a cock, a hammer, block banana clips. Send you to the doctor, granted, little pumps, a rockin' flock, a flock of walk, a flock of flame. Launch a rocket cannon on your fucking Papa's mansion. Gucci gang for what? Knocked a fan into a walking band at John Wilkes Booth at the opera, damn it, lower than the lowest on a totem pole. What the fuck's a post Malone? Toasting to these hopeless hoes and Joe Schmoes, soaking every moment, posted on the mobile phones, blowing coke and throwing dough. The bread is cheddar like it's provolone. Praying if you're hoping, then white smoke the Pope is in. If you want to smoke with me, I'll hit you in the throat for free. Bitch, I'm joking vocally, you're hopeless as a hopeless be. You bozos both released on smoking dope loaded with propylene. Man, stop it. Cut that shit off, bro. What, you want 4 more? 8 more bars? Fuck it. Hey, hey, hey. I'm back in and strapped in with my Mac 10. I'm macking, you capping and acting. The fact is I'm clapping your cap off the cap from the back of an Acura through the dash of your dad's black bins. So sit back, Sebastian, kick back, relaxing, get wrapped in action, quick, fast and nasty. Bitch ass, get at me up in Massachusetts. I'm a massive masshole, that's my 2 cents, bitch. Judicious. Doomsday Versus. Dead Man Switch. Week 1. Kato on the track. Judicious. Week 2 coming soon. It's judicious.com. Let's go.
Yeah.
Okay.
He was calling out some people right there.
Yo,
Judicious.
Man. We gotta give him the.
Yeah, you gotta give him the lighter. I don't have one, man.
It's out of flame. Oh, there.
Absolutely. What's up, Judicious? How are you?
Yo, what's up, y'all? How you doing?
Man, it's been a minute. It's been a minute. You were trying to catch some bodies right there. What's going on with that? You were. I heard at least like 5 shout outs there, or call outs, I should say, man.
That Post Malone, Joe. What's a Post Malone?
Just dropping a few opinions out there.
What's going on? Were you angry when you wrote that at the State of Hip Hop? Is that what I'm to take away from that? What was going on? Break it down for us. What was that song about?
You know what's funny is that was actually gonna be an entry for a contest a few years back, and I didn't end up dropping that. So that's where like the title came from. Like it was a No Sucker MCs was the contest, but I just had like Lost Verse as like, you know, just because I never put it out. So that was a few years back that I wrote most of that and then tweaked a little bit of it. And yeah, just decided to do a lyric video with that too. But like I said at the beginning, there's no diss track or nothing. Just
I don't know. A few people might hear that and take it a different way.
I was smirking the whole time, man.
Yeah,
I'm like,
man. We knew right out the gate where he was going with that one. So is that more of what's to come from you, or is that just a one-off? Like, is that what's the sound that you're actually trying to mess with right now that you're trying to put out to the forefront?
So I was messing with the idea of, at first I thought about, let me drop a verse every week, you know, and then I just thought about writing wise, that wouldn't be too much, but just trying to like market and, you know, do that realistically seems a little crazy unless I already had everything, you know, ahead of time. So I'm thinking of doing maybe, you know, every month and a half or so, just more
like Jay Cruz.
realistically.
I was following the Gary V.
Jay Cruz follows the Jay.
I was like,
Gary
let's write
V.
a song. Why don't we
Write
do
a song, put it out.
a day?
Man.
Yo, give me a beat.
It's like juicy. So for people that haven't heard of you, Judicious, where are you from? Where you representing these days?
So basically, I mean, I grew up in Sudbury.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know too many people familiar where
That's
that
Massachusetts.
is.
We know Sudbury. Yeah.
Yeah.
People claiming the Sud. People claim.
Yeah. Everyone outside of Mass, it's just Boston because everyone knows where Boston.
Yeah. No, we know how that plays out. Yeah. I mean, you can't be claiming that the Berry, right? That's a different Berry, right? Yo, I'm from the Berry. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't work. Doesn't work.
I mean, I have family from Boston, so technically I could kind of get away with it.
Right. Now, I wasn't even sure. Are you still in Massachusetts?
Yeah. Currently,
Cool. I was. Yeah, no, I knew that. So I know a little bit about your interest and background. So tell us a little bit about the sports side too, about Judicious back in the day.
Yeah, so basically that's like, what my whole life was about. Mainly baseball was what I was into. I was really serious into that, into traveling and just playing year round.
Right.
I've never been one to like toot my own horn or anything like that, but I do have like a lot of accomplishments throughout baseball and training, and I always rock my rings because I got championship rings. So like I won a state championship in high school, and then I won a national championship for travel.
Wow.
Have a few national accomplishments, like basically baseball was my whole life until I hurt my back in high school and kind of played through a lot of the injuries I had, and then those just deteriorated a little more until I needed surgery and really just kind of screwed everything up in terms of that. And that's when I got into writing more so, on the decline of that.
So you were like a prospect, and then like you have the injury, and then you're writing almost as therapy, like a lot of cats do, like for hip hop therapy. And then at what point did you take it to something more than that and say, okay, this is something I'm actually going to try to put out?
What's funny is, obviously I met you through Robbie,
right?
And it was cool because obviously we've gone back and forth a little bit online, but we haven't really had a conversation outside of that time we chopped it up out there.
Right, not live, because that was the only time I probably was with you live, was that time, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So
such a
what's
weird
really
world now.
funny, I know, right? What's really funny is the only reason I even called Robbie is I was visiting my brother at college back then, and someone that he knew just like was walking back to their dorm or some shit, and we got to talking about music, and he had the fucking cassette that I guess was Robbie's old like business card.
Yeah,
a little cassette, and I just took down his number from that, and that's why I called Robbie. He was like the first person I reached out to, and was like, at the time I didn't really know anything about anything, and I just hit him up. I think I called him from like a restricted number. And it was funny because
sounds about right.
yeah. Like after getting to know him, he was like, "Dude, I thought you were like the fucking IRS calling me to like,
man.
Don't get my taxes or some shit."
Yeah,
like,
don't be putting Robbie on blast. He's still worried about the IRS. All right, that's Robbie Jones.
I messed around a little bit.
Robbie Jones for the IRS listening. That was Robbie Jones.
I did a little bit of stuff on my own, just writing and whatnot, but I wanted to like actually get in the studio and see at least how it goes and how shit would sound better on the mic and actually professionally done. So
right. He I remember him telling me about you the first time. He was saying it's kind of like that. He was like, "Yo, I think it was almost something like this dude's calling me from restricted number. He seems really cool and real passionate, and you know what I mean. And it's like it would be cool. You should check him out and do all that stuff." And Robbie's always looking out. He's always like checking out for artists and people he thinks it'll make a big impact. Shout out to Robbie Robbie Jones. Sorry, Robbie Jones. Exactly. I almost slipped. We don't want to be talking about IRS.
That's Robbie Jones.
It's a half shout out. It's a half shout out to Robbie. And Yeah, man. So that's cool, man. Hey, that's a moral of the story for a lot of people. Business cards and all that kind of stuff. You do got to have your ducks in a row, you know. And yo, I got my first real record deal by that too. I walked up in a record store, grabbed the CD. They put out Cool G Rap. I saw the back. I was like, yo, this number's Massachusetts. I was talking about it before. I took it down, and one thing led to another, and my first album came out on Blaze the World Entertainment through Carolina EMI. So that was same thing, man. Same thing. But you got to pay attention to those numbers. You know what I mean? And like it was like Kendall saying, right, Kendall? It's like you got to manifest it, see it, visualize it. Oh, I got your mic off. Sorry, Kendall. What'd you say?
I said everything was in alignment.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. Now, how you dealing with the COVID stuff? Like as a musician trying to do your stuff now, like is this been a setback, or has it been a blessing in disguise? What's the deal?
So I haven't personally been on tour or anything like that. I've only done a couple of shows, and I know talking with you a little bit, I mentioned I have a few major health issues that I've been dealing with too. So that's kind of, if I did want to go on tour, it'd be like, how many shows would I be able to handle, But so for me, it's not that big of a difference, but it's kind of given me a little bit of a different way to think of how to approach it.
Sure,
I know you guys were talking earlier on in the show. You guys have gone over so many different things in the show.
Yeah, we try to make use of that time.
It's like playing hockey, man. You don't know. You're skating all over the place.
Yep. It's really just about consistency and trying different things, and
yeah,
as long
absolutely.
as you keep at it,
and not giving up.
That's right.
When you really believe in something, you love something, don't give up. If you love it, why are you going to give up on it?
Yeah,
that's why I'm getting married, right? To prove.
I see what you did there.
I see what you did there.
I see what you did.
That was a little freestyle for you.
Hey,
thanks, man. I appreciate it, man.
Judicious. You got more stuff in the tank though. So is there plans for more releases coming out soon, or what are you thinking about doing though? Because you can still drop music, in this climate, right?
Yeah, for sure. So I was thinking of doing every week and then every other week, but I'm trying to at least drop 20 different verses this year, and then maybe one or two other small projects.
I mean, these things you already got in the shoot, or they're things you planning on doing? Like, where are you at?
Honestly, obviously, being a lyricist, you can write some shit and then you just not vibing with it, even if it's a whole song or a whole verse or whatever. So I definitely have a few ideas of where I'm going, but
do you have an Instagram or a Facebook page? Or?
What is that?
So my Instagram is @judicious34. I have a website too. It's judicious.com. All my socials and everything are there, but
I'm guessing 34 was your baseball number.
That was my last
passion.
My last number.
Passion.
I started back with 5, being a big Nomar fan back when.
Gosh, a pair.
Yeah.
I got you, Justice. I just hit you
but
up.
Yeah, I got all my music up on all the streaming platforms and everything too. So
word. Well, yeah, we tell all the MCs to do the same thing, man. It's just like us, do it as much as you can. Exploit the online platforms that you can while you
Everybody's glued to their phone. Everybody's glued to their computer, their phone. You have a captive audience. Just do it, man. Do it every single day. Do it.
That's the thing about COVID is that everyone's at home. Everyone's on their phone. So
yeah. Yo, I did a lyric video as well, man. I think they're cool. Yo, I think at this time, people like Kendall said, people are watching their phone more. They're watching things. Just because you might not feel safe running out and make a full video, it's a great time to make something kind of interesting instead of just
I did a file
on SoundCloud.
I did a lyric video back in 2010.
Well, that's because you're cool like that. Well, I mean, the rest of us didn't even know what a lyric video was in 2010, but there was Jay Cruz just having to shut it down for all of it. I was like, I found out lyric videos in 2014.
I couldn't. I was like, that's because I was I can't afford no camera, but I knew how to work, the taking the pictures and throwing it in the movie thing. So yeah, it was an old. I used to go by this group, Sick. We were SIQ. So many ill quotes.
All right.
Yeah,
I was like, a lyric video is when I'm in the video. Oh, it's not a lyrical video. All right, I was like, I was misunderstood for so long.
Hey, we still got my man Fly up in the building, or what?
Yeah, we gotta bring Fly up in here too.
Fly, man. I told him 10 o'clock. Poor boy.
What up, Fly?
Yo,
Yahweh.
Freedom Corner, free from the corner.
From another mother right here.
Yeah, man.
Yo, what it do?
How you doing, man? Another MC in the building.
Man, I'm just, as always, I enjoy the show, so I love hanging out. No pressure, no rush.
This is great.
You always
That's
welcome
why
up
we
here.
keep throwing that invite out. Absolutely, man.
So now we got multiple musicians and we got multiple let's say inspired people.
I feel honored being the only female tonight. Thank you.
Yeah. It's an honor to have you as you look at Kendall. When I met you last week, I'm like, I know this girl, man. This girl's gonna be great. You shut it down tonight, girl.
Yes, indeed.
Absolutely.
I can't
Power
say
of
I've
the
ever
mind.
played softball before or baseball. I'm not good at that at all.
Nah, it's all good. But I was hearing what you were saying, and I know where Fly's at. You know what I'm saying? And Fly is definitely. I mean, Fly puts it right up on Front Street in the music where he's about. You might never heard him before, but he is a powerful lyricist who puts God in the verse. So that's why. Yeah, he prays, right? And so it's one of our joints.
Real quick though.
Yeah, man.
You know how that goes.
So divine powers, spiritual powers. I mean, Kendall, man, you jumped into my realm when you started talking about quantum realities and quantum physics and mechanics.
But music in itself, just the energy behind music can change your mood drastically.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? It can make you reminisce about things that happened in your past. It could help you think about like what you want to do. It could help you think about a long lost love, or it could help you think about, being give you that power to like killing in a job interview, or for me it's like get that girl power. All of that energetically is gonna make you feel good, because the tone and the vibration of music just changes things totally. So you set the tone. You all of you have an impact on how you want people to feel you. You know what I'm saying? That energy is so powerful, and just the word, the melody, the words, and what you create, that's all just love. And if you're angry, it comes out. If you're somber, it comes out. Any way you're feeling, you can make that come out, and it's just fascinating. I love music.
It can flip once you get it out too.
So good.
Once you put it out there too, it can. I mean, we talk about it being released all the time. Sometimes your energy changes a 180 because of what you put out there. Just like going to the gym, right? Working off that steam, right? It's like you go to the gym, you might go there stressed, and now you leave different. So just putting it out there, sometimes it flips it for you.
Good night, baby. I love you, sugar.
Love you.
That's nice.
Bye-bye. Good night.
That is nice, right
Who
there.
are we saying good night to?
We heard her on the track.
I would say good night to my fiance, my future wife, to be a few days.
I don't sleep.
Wait a minute, future wife in a few days.
Oh, Fly didn't catch us.
Yo, Fly missed it. Yo, Fly.
Judicious might have heard. I don't know if you heard that, Judicious. We got a wedding going on up here.
So how did you ask her?
Oh, that's actually classic. So how this worked, right, was we knew I was in him. She knew I knew. We're very open with it. You know what I mean? Like, I'm like, you're gonna pick your ring out, right? Like, you know what I'm saying? I know you want to. But I ended up, we both work at the post office, right?
Okay.
So I ended up doing it there in front of everybody, because she wasn't gonna expect it. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, I can do all these other things. So when I told my supervisor, I said, supervisor,
I got a package for you to open.
Yeah, start talking. I got a package. I said, listen, start talking her up, right? And start saying something good about her, and I'm going to chime in. So the supervisor was doing her regular talk to everybody, and then she's like, yeah, and just, a special shout out to Jennifer. She's a good, and I'm like, yeah, because she's so strong. She's this and that. That's not a drop of the poetry order. And then I was like, I dropped out on one knee, and everybody in the office is in a circle, and she just had no idea. So it was great. I said, Jennifer Javon Pemberton, will you marry me? Boom.
Wow.
Now don't fuck it up. Don't fuck it up.
Let's go.
That's how to do it, man.
Never, ever. Ever,
right?
ever,
Be
ever,
real,
ever.
That was a one
be
take.
honest.
Jay's a one take man.
And
Right
you know
there.
what?
That's right.
That's where the next show I'm doing on Sunday. But you gotta read, which I'm gonna download the Audible. 5 Love Languages. All
Okay.
right? Have you heard
Yeah,
of
that's
that
some
book?
that's some Talib Kweli stuff right
All
there,
right.
girl. I know
That
about
5 love
languages.
languages tells you how what
I
you
know mine.
receive, whether
I know
you
mine.
are
Works of service.
you. There you go. I'm gonna learn. I'm gonna find out what mine is because I haven't read the book yet. So, but I've heard all about it. Are you a giver? Do you like to receive? Do you like to hear things? Are you a touch? You like touch?
Words of
You gotta
affirmation.
know what her language is. Yep, words
Yeah.
of affirmation. Like you gotta figure out how you connect so you could keep that communication.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah.
I like
Right
that.
on.
Hey, congrats, bro. I had no idea.
Appreciate it,
Crazy.
brother.
He's,
I didn't
he,
either.
you know, he
I was
said
like,
that he said a couple weeks ago though. He showed the ring. Like he was talking. They were talking about rings, and I was like, "Yo, did he just say propose? Like, did I miss something? Because she had it on her finger. And she's like, "Oh, look at the." I was like, "What's going on? Are we missing something right here?" And little by little, it just started coming into focus. Now
So
we're
is
like,
there
okay.
a wedding when? Like when is this?
Well,
like,
no.
what
So
we
what?
doing?
Yeah. So what was supposed to happen was we was planning it out. Like it was supposed to happen this year. COVID obviously messed
J.
up.
Cruz Pro poses. I like that.
Yeah, you know, and then it was like we had the date. I was like, I want, and it's crazy because this is another bomb. This is her birthday. She's getting married on her birthday
What?
because of
now you can't
the
mess it up.
numerical
Brilliant.
meaning of 3 and 5. 3 is the
Save on
is a
gifts.
perfect number. It's the first number before a pattern, which is 4. 4 is like that pattern number when you look it up. And then 5 is the angel number for love. Like ultimate love. So 3 5 is a perfect day. And I told her, and she's like, "Yeah, we'll do it." And it's cool because she loves, she gets it both. And
You can go to the Justice of the Peace.
that's what we're doing. We're going to the town hall. My pops will be there because it's at 1 o'clock in the afternoon. Ain't no one gonna be there. But we're doing it to have that date and follow through with what we saw, even though it wasn't in the white dress and all that pretty stuff. But we'll throw that again. A couple
Yeah,
years.
man.
He also went to Jared's. Jared
you know
went to
you're gonna be
Jared's.
there. Yeah, and I did. Look, that's what I'm saying. Look, I am J. Cruz, aka Cocaine. However, my God given is I'm actually Jard. It's Jarred.
Yeah.
My dad. I love you, Dad, but you can't spell, and that's why you messed that up.
Yeah,
But
that's tough.
well, that's it right there. This cake. Yeah.
He went to Jared.
And then I got my
He went
fly,
to Jared.
fly. Check it out, bro. Check it out, bro. You know what I'm saying? I had to hit him with the black.
Yes, sir.
The mat. You know what I mean?
Yep.
I might put it on before I get married because she's wearing her band and everything too.
Yeah.
Because
That's crazy.
That's what's up. That's what's up, man. That's special, man.
That's crazy, man. And you sharing that with the world right now. I mean, that's big. You just coming out here.
Special, man.
Yeah, I'm being unfiltered just in general. Like no matter what, I used to fear the camera like a lot of artists do. And it's because as soon as it came on, I felt like act mode. Okay, time to act like a rapper.
Yeah.
Time to act. As soon as you get rid of that whole mantra, that whole idea.
Yes, sir.
I walk by the mirror and I make faces, man. I put my gangster face on as soon as I walk by the mirror. I'm like,
that's right, Gary. It could only be Jared. That's right.
But that's kind of like to Kendall's point too, though, about the need to like the energy that we carry. Even as a rapper, it's more about if we really think about it. Like our favorite celebrities as far as music, it wasn't that they made necessarily the best music, they were the best entertainers. Like we love them for how unique they were as individuals. Like Michael Jackson. Don't love them.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? We appreciated those people who did things in a way nobody else done it. So it's important for you to really be yourself because the energy you put out is what the authentic you is what's going to attract other authentic people. Right. And so it's important even as a musician, no matter what it is you're doing, you got to be yourself. And you're gonna always attract people. You don't get out those vibes and get out the energy. And we all got those old Mary J. Blige songs that we love because we felt it.
But you know
That's
when you
right.
go into a room, before you even say anything, if you are next to someone, you can feel their energy. You're gonna know if it's good or if it's like something's not quite right about that person. You know energetically right away whether you feel it in your chest, whether you feel it in your gut. But that is your signal to say, hey, this is a cool person, or like, I don't know. So you always gotta listen to that. But you all have the key to like switch up anybody's energy through sound.
Yeah.
That's so
You
true.
know,
And that's more, and weighs more on us too, to make sure that we are as authentic as possible, so that when we start saying these things, we're projecting goodness. And listen, you know what I mean? Look, I'm gonna let the gangster rappers be gangster rappers. Like, yo, shout out to my man Joe Pellegrino. If y'all don't know about JoJo, he's insane. He's
Shout
incredible.
out to Joe Pellegrino.
Yeah, bro, like JoJo Pellegrino, right? So 1995, I was listening to him on a mixtape, not knowing who he was, like till yesterday. I'm like, dude, that was you
what?
In 95? Yeah, dude is a beast. He's been a beast. But you know, that these lanes have to exist because we need that kind of energy. That
trap lanes all taken, I heard you say.
Yeah, the trap lane's all taken, but I'm still gonna listen to it. I'm gonna vibe out it if I'm in a trap mood. I'm gonna vibe out if I want to listen to some Mobb Deep, Shook Ones, or some JoJo Pellegrino. Like that's hard, right?
And Moby.
But when it comes to what I'm gonna present for my children, which I appreciate Pro so much for pointing out the fact that, yo, man, you know your daughter's listening to this kind of thing. Well, I'm thinking about Henry. Henry's listening to this. Oh yeah, because I used to think about that all the time. But then it was like when money came into the equation. And it was like, I got to do what the rest are doing. That's what I started to fail.
You know what Henry says to me? Doug, every time I put on, I'm about to play a song, the first thing he asks me, he says, do they curse? And I'll be like, they might. And he goes, why do not smart people curse? And he goes, Jay Cruz is finally smart. Like, dude,
that's right.
He sits
Henry.
at the table and he goes, what? He wants to know now because I told him, you know, he's like, why did Jay Cruz used to curse? Like, it baffles him. He can't understand. He's like, why would he do that? Why? And I was like, well,
I curse all the time. Like, I have a father.
Yeah, I was like, you know, adults sometimes, you know, they're not perfect.
Yeah.
You know,
but see, I guess what it was my like Rakim, right? Rakim never cursed on any of his records, right? And I think it's because when we
a couple times.
Oh yeah, a couple. Yeah,
he got a few,
but the majority, you know, he
very rare
to do that. He wanted his grandmother to be able to listen to it, right?
That's right.
So, you know, for me, I kind of had that when I moved in high school. My pops was like, "Yo, you can rap," because he was reading my stuff, but you can't swear no more. And I'm like, "What?" So I had to figure out how to be hard, how to be gangster.
He can't even spell Jared. Who's he talking to?
Yeah, right. He's saying, you know, I'm like, how am I going to keep this authenticity in my hood, my feeling? I can't speak dirty. And then it created this whole thing where I was starting to be way more poetic because I wasn't cussing. I was having to think beyond that word. And I did that for a long time. And then I started to reach out to, you know, people that I was like, look, I want to make millions. Like, that was my mind state, right? And they were like, all right, well, if you do, you got to plug something that's happening today in a current event. You got to swear so the kids respect. You got to do this. So in every rhyme, I had to touch
Isn't
these
that backwards?
points.
So the kids respect it.
Yeah,
it's crazy, right?
It is, but that's the actuality of the situation at that point. But now it's like this whole quarantine and COVID thing. Yo, it's our time to be authentic through everything we do.
Yep.
And you know what I'm saying? Like, cause I don't care. I can't be talking like this and then being like, pause the tape. Yo, I'm about to bust you with my gap.
Right.
It's normal. Sometimes it's in reverse too. Sometimes it's in reverse. Like, people will get it twisted. You know, they'll be like, "Oh yeah, he's a blah 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 rapper, and he doesn't curse. Or he's a Christian rapper." Like you won't snuff him in the nose. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like that's the other side of it.
Yeah, exactly.
Like someone could just steal your lunch money, you know, because you don't curse in the verse. You know, like somehow the two equate. You know, that's the funny part. You know.
That's crazy. But anyway, I salute you again, Pro, for that. That was a huge elevation for me. You know what I mean? And I'm Henry.
Next Friday's a big day. Yeah, Henry is very judicious. Let me just say that he's very judicious.
I see what you did there.
You see what I did there. You see what I did. Yo, next Friday is a crazy day. Next Friday, by the way, speaking of which, on the show, which I think we'll be doing both from Massachusetts. Are you doing the show next week? You can't be doing the show on the day you get married, can you?
Of course I'm gonna be on the show.
What?
Man.
This kid doesn't quit.
You gotta have a honeymoon.
That's not a good way to start.
Just like Kendall. Just like Kendall. No, because see, the thing is that because we have the synergy, right?
Yep.
She supports what I do. I don't make it
3 balls.
Yeah,
man.
come on now. It's just about now. The thing is it like, am I gonna put forth the effort?
Right.
Bro,
Bro,
take the night off, bro.
Take the night off, man.
Oh, listen.
Listen to me. Listen to me. Trust me.
He's trying to tell you.
He's giving me the fair warning right
Those
now.
of us who've been married longer are trying to.
Oh, bro, I've been listening. I got an anniversary coming in 2 weeks. My wife's been married 12 years. Been together 15 years.
Yeah, man.
And
knowledge.
She tells you it's okay because she really does support you.
Because she supports you.
And she really wouldn't mind. But it's like they have this secret expectation of you that they want to express.
Look at you.
That they want to express to you because
at some try go see this.
Is this right, Kendall? Are you representing all women in the world right now?
No,
I'm telling you, she's communicating to you, and she probably wouldn't be mad, but it would.
Yeah.
It would mean so much more to her.
I'm not gonna tell you that you to do it and then be like resenting because you're doing it. You know what I'm saying? Like,
he ain't gonna. He ain't gonna resent.
You know, like. So
I told you could, but I didn't expect you to do it.
Don't do like the whole 2 hours. Just do a couple hours, or do like an hour, do like 30 minutes, just do a little bit and then be out. Like show your face. This is your business. This is you trying to build your
5
brand.
minutes. Yeah.
So just show up, say, hey, this is
I'm gonna say, look at Shen, you're gonna have to sit on my lap the whole night.
Don't do it, bro.
Have her do her segment. Be like, yo, if you do your segment, we'll do the show. Because she got a segment on the show. We've only done it once. She's supposed to be up again.
You see that? She was. I had her on the show last week. So her
2
and my
weeks ago.
cousin.
2 weeks
2
ago.
weeks ago. My bad. So
Yeah,
now,
was it the sip and
the wine and dine.
Wine and dine.
The most basic rhyme of all time we could not remember. It was like sip and drip. What is it? Was it plug and chug? What was that called? Oh no, it was wine and dine. Come on now, wine and dine, man.
That's great,
bro. If it was me,
Pro and Quo, we were into basic rhymes. We did that,
bro. Get you a fill in.
Yeah,
somebody
man.
fill in for you.
Yo, so this is the crazy part. I'm gonna be in Boston, right? I'm doing a little shout out to Fee. We're doing a little recording thing, and then the next day I'm doing video. Jay and I do a little video, and we'll probably be doing the show probably in different like rooms. If it wasn't for this, Jay would probably be over his crib, like probably 10, 15 minutes away. We'd be like doing this show, and Jay, he's gonna end up doing it. He's gonna come in, right? He's gonna for however long. He's gonna be doing the show on his wedding night. What else are we possibly gonna be talking about except that it's your wedding? I mean, that's the craziest thing in the world. I'm gonna be asking you about your wedding. Now, we definitely need no guest, and we also have, by the way, I gotta put this out there to everybody else. Let bring my man. We actually can't get him in. Don Juan's getting ready for the next show coming up at 11 o'clock. But we got Dialect. So I went on this show last week talking. They were talking about mad skills. They were doing. I missed the beginning because my thing wasn't coming in. But they were talking about anniversaries because it's their 50th episode anniversary. Shout out to Friday Night Live.
Yeah, big time. That's huge.
And Dialect is an MC. I've never heard him, but he's an MC, and I guess he's pretty good. And so I was on the show talking about when I was in the battle with Mad Skills back I was in the World Supremacy battle, and what was going on. We were talking about ghostwriting. One thing led to another. And Dave's always starting some stuff up. And so I said, nah, don't get it twisted. I was big up in Drake because they were talking about, people ghostwriting. I was like, yo, let's not be getting this twisted. Drake is nice. Don't be falling for the Drake's not writing all his rhymes. That's so played out. Someone comes in the studio and writes like a hook with you, and suddenly they're not a writer. And I know it's fun tabloid stuff out there, but Drake is nice. And my point is, he's better than you are. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I was like self-included. Look at his track record. But after. I was trying to not be too on the humble tip. I was like, no, don't get it twisted. Don't think that I'm still not like, if you put me in a room and lock me in a room with any human in 10 minutes, I'm coming out with a ridiculous. I'm coming out like there's nobody, you know what I'm saying? And so Dialect's like, yo, we need to have Dialect. Dave was like, we need to have Dialect take you up on this challenge. So we're doing a challenge live on the show next week at 10:30. We might even do it early if there's no Jay Cruz. We're both going to write a rhyme for like 20 minutes. They're going to pick the topic, and we're going to come back and drop our 16s. And any MC is welcome, by the way. They welcomed it to anybody. Any MC want to come on, we'll give you the topics.
Get that link.
Any MC want to come in, writing the rhyme, come out. And now you got heavyweights. You got Fly in here. Fly's coming up. You got some heavyweights.
Dude, man. Oh my goodness, he be hitting me with
That's gonna be
gems.
But I build myself, quite honestly, as the best in the entire world at
That's right.
writing a targeted verse and that's how you gotta be, right, Fly?
That's
you gotta
right.
be like
Exactly.
that's how you gotta be. I'm not trying to say it on some like that's what we do. You know what I mean? So and then I don't want to backpedal from it, but I'm like, by best, we mean we loving what we come out with. It's like what Kendall said, right? It's like what Kendall said. You focus, you feel what you're trying to do, you project it, and boom, you manifest it. That's it.
You manifest it.
That's
it. And there is an element. There is an element to anything that you do, man. To do well, there's a level of confidence that comes with it. You know what I'm saying? And so you spend so much time trapped in your own mind that if you can't convince yourself that you're good at it, people gonna feel that.
That's right.
Oh, but yeah.
Tricky though. It's very tricky. You know, when you have to like pick yourself up, and you know. It's very,
and that's the biggest challenge. Yeah, picking yourself up.
That's it. In your own mind, you got to be you have to be self-confident.
Right.
You know, and especially in the way he explains it, it comes with a level of humility as well, too, right? Yeah. And so you put so much into it because you have a great appreciation for the art. So that's the humility and just kind of like self-built in it. And so you pour so much into it, and you got that confidence, and it comes out like she said, the energy comes out in your music. That's what changes people's modes when they hear your music.
Follow you. They want to follow you. So don't do anything that someone else is doing because it's not you.
It's not you.
Right. We're all influenced. We're all influenced, but you got to find your true center.
Yeah. You know, that takes some time. It's not like it's going to happen overnight. But as long as you just step it into doing something that makes you feel good, you know, so keep writing.
Moral of the story, Jay Cruz. Jay Cruz, you don't need to be trying to be a hero next Friday. It's a big day, man. We can run some Jay Cruz videos. And you know, if you want to call us in as a guest, man, maybe that's what you need to do. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, decide closer to Friday. Don't decide now.
You know, I know. As I'm here sitting there with Fly, this is the reason why I really though, because you know, this is a special day, yes, and it's not with what we envision as far as like the family and everything. So it's not like a party. It's like just like a date. You know what I'm saying? Like a normal day. We're just stamping it for our day. And you know, now I'm gonna be the child support, all that. I mean, child support, the health insurance, all that stuff.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? All the financial situations changing up.
Changes, yep.
But that's cool. That's what we wanted to stamp the day. But yeah, I think Fly, you're right, man. It's I've been neglecting it. Apologies, right? You know what I mean? I've been working so hard these past couple years that she does deserve a little bit of just Jay Cruz time.
Yeah, man. Just yeah.
You think?
A little bit go a long way.
Look at the question. Yeah, it does, man. I appreciate you for saying that, Fly. She's going to as well.
Yeah, she's gonna appreciate it greatly. Trust me, she's gonna appreciate it greatly. She recognizes how much you care about what you do, and she will never want you to feel like there's an ultimatum, right? She don't want you to feel like you choosing between her and the show. She's gonna 100% say, do the show.
That's right.
And see, that's me taking advantage of the situation. I am selfish.
It's not like,
no, you're not. You dedicated.
Then I justify it like, well, you know, baby, this is gonna get you that mink. This is going, you know what I'm saying?
Get you that mink. You talk about exactly what he puts in his rhymes. He got that as a rhyme, yo.
Yeah,
Shorty need that mink.
You gotta upgrade that ring. You want that ring upgraded, right? You better let me do my show about that. But that's where I could go with it. But I'll just do that when we're off camera so she could laugh at it.
Yeah, man. Yeah, it's crazy, man.
Yeah.
Yo, Jay Cruz, man. You a soldier, man. There's no doubt about that.
No doubt.
Yeah. We all are. Everybody on here is a soldier. And you know, Kendall, your story just blows me away, and you're such a special person. It's incredible.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Such a
I'm looking at you. You're looking at me. It's all good.
Yeah. Well,
to come out of it with the attitude that you came out of it with, though, it's what's extra special, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. To get up from it and walk away from it,
you know,
with a
sucks
better
going
attitude.
through it. I'm gonna be real. It sucked, but you know, you can't stay there. You know, you gotta keep moving forward.
I need to know you for the rest of my life.
I missed one thing you said though, Kendall. When you were talking about when you dropped the weight, right? And how had you won multiple titles already before that?
Yep.
Was that the first?
Yep.
Okay.
I hadn't done a pro show. I got you.
Okay.
I had done the amateur, but I hadn't done a pro show, and I ended up doing a pro show a year after my last treatment. My last
so it's like,
treatment
man,
that I had. So a year after that, I got back on stage in 2014, and it was the
and who knows, right? Like if that kind of winning mentality and that powering through, like literally, right, didn't have some piece in that, because like you said, tricking your mind right into knowing that you can get through ridiculous obstacles.
I needed to have something on the other end to get me back on stage.
Yeah,
I didn't win. That was the only show I lost. My first pro show. So I have a little bit of like, you know, like maybe when I turn 50 in a couple of years.
That's dope, and you will win it.
I will give it a go.
I see Don Juan in the background. What up, Don Juan? Oh, he's gone. He's got to go do his other show. Don Juan hopped in the background. I thought he was going to come in and yell at us or something for doing.
You know what Pop said to me? He
Don
said,
Juan.
"Oh,
he's gone. He's gone. Sorry."
Pops told me that. He said, "Discipline weighs ounces, regret weighs tons."
Oh man,
yeah,
but that's that little every day. Like if you get up, write a little bit, meditate, you know, exercise, eat right. Like it's got to be consistent.
Discipline is in the seconds.
Have the habit. You have to.
Devil's in the details.
Because it's never gonna happen if you just it's all lofty and blah blah blah. You gotta hone in and plan out, because everything is life is. Look how fast last year went by. Like son, we're going into March next week, so 3 months have gone by. So what have you done? You know, before you know it, the summer's gonna be here. Before you know it, then it's the Thanksgiving, and then it's the end of the year again.
That's it.
So if you don't put things in place, another year's gonna go by, and you're gonna be like, "What the fuck did I do?"
And guess what happens then? The devil's dancing.
The devil's dancing. I see what you did, J. Cruz. I was thinking the same thing, yo. We gonna take y'all out on some devil's dancing. You can hang around if you want. We're gonna play this, and this is a track off the album. It is what is it? 90%, J. Cruz?
Nah, this one I would say is at 70%, but it's still worthy just because it is.
All right. So J. Cruz says 70%. Let's see. You know what? One more time. Let's do the share the right way, because I think I messed it up. Yeah, there we go. See, when Don Juan's not here, y'all don't know how hard it is.
Hey, but listen, before we play that, because it's already 11 o'clock, whatever.
Yeah.
Look, I appreciate everybody coming. I'm probably going to sign out. I got an early day tomorrow.
You got an early week.
Okay.
Early week. But, Kendall, we're going to be staying in touch. Girl, I'll see you on the collective chat.
Oh, this is going to be good.
The devil's dance on the floor now. The devil's dance at your door now. Approach the verse like we at church. Scope the perps, meet our first, need our curse. Hell handsome, all the woes at work. Posing shirts, guns and turfs, blunts and serfs. In my stirrups, gots to make it hearse. She goes skin, a white earth, the most grim. That's a 10, pay a nurse. I lay burst with a nurse. It's complex, the context, a real nice, a bad flex, a high price. A Learjet, the facts twice. Half-life, act right, my pants tight, connect mics, your windpipe, recite crews, all quotes, bring life, all quotes, bring life. I'm day and night, sun and moon, wolf and sheep, a young shepherd above the tomb, making room, your son's reckless, peep the metrics, the son's necklace on these presses. Say a prayer, believe, knowledge off a tree for thieves, Judas by the branches. The devil's dance on the floor now. The devil's dance knocking at your door now. The devil's dance, everybody on the floor now. The devil's dance knocking at your door now. Whenever you in a good place, you better believe the devil is dancing. A good place, no one believed the devil was dancing. Got good taste, many you've paid the devil's ransom. While simply thinking they're hanging up or Rembrandt in the mansion. Judas repenting, returning them 30 pieces of silver now. You're doing that music, trying to recoup it, feeling so foolish now. Who's in town? You better be ready to pay the piper. Pit vipers, spit venomous, don't let him inside of your cipher. Them Charles Mansons from the advancing at the outset. Got you doing the dirty work, looking all handsome in their outfits.
You still doubt it. Staying devoted, you've been since the onset. But your dog is not your amigo. When he deceiving, your words are offset. Time to divorce that mindset with the raw shit. Test by leaving this ink all over the paper, then I record that. Tally results, removing the doubt, then take my chances. The devil was over my head instead. Now Lord applause who's dancing. The devil's dancing on the floor now. The devil's dancing, knocking at your door now. The devil's dancing, everybody on the floor now. The devil's dancing, knocking at your door now.
You get the idea. The devil's dancing.
Hey, the track too, bro.
Yo, that's my man. Is that Larson? Yeah, that's Larson. Yo, when the beat that he gave me was just a raw beat. You know what I mean? So when I get the beat, yeah,
it's saucy, bro. But it's saucy. That ProQuo all over that, man.
Saucy.
Yeah, it's definitely a hot record.
Okay.
That was a different one.
I'm gonna have to have everybody on the collective chat. We'll have to do an Instagram live on that end.
Please do not forget me. There's too much positive energy in this.
I'll have to hit you up. I'll have to hit you up and Judicious. We'll have to
hear Judicious's new diss of the industry.
There you go. And yo, Fly too. I put her. She's on the collective chat, so she's a friend of mine. I think I shared a feed, but I'll do another share so you can make sure you catch it.
Yeah, sure. Y'all hit me.
It's very inspiring. All this music is very inspiring. I'm gonna have to think about my next motivational video. I got some good music now that I can have in the background. I'm gonna have to use some of the music that you guys are producing.
Yeah,
go grab that. Go grab that album. It's
Fly's album.
Yeah,
okay.
Fly's album is incredible.
Forever Lives Yahweh. Just check it out. You know, I'm already in the lab working on another project. So
I'm always looking for a good beat to do my speech behind. You know.
Fly. What's the name of the album again?
I Am Fly.
I Am Fly.
Yeah, so
okay.
I Am Fly. So if you look up Forever Lives Yahweh, nothing else will pop up once you
Freedom
YouTube,
Corner.
Apple Music, iTunes, everything, Google,
Work.
you know.
That
so,
work.
everywhere.
Skills.
When he hit me with that work, I said, "What? He just hit me with the work."
So I wanted to ask y'all this question as artists too, especially just in general and Judicious, you chime in too. Like finding that balance, right? Because like I love good music in general. I grew up in Chicago. I spent like the last 15, 16 years in the South, and so I remember when there was a vast divide between Midwest rap, East Coast rap, West Coast rap, and just Southern music, and everything's kind of gravitated Southern, as far as trap music and just the sound of music, and so finding that balance between making music that feels good as well as music that you can be proud of, right? Because I'm just a lyricist at heart. I grew up on a corner with no beat, no nothing. We just rap until we got tired. And OGs was like that, and I just admired that. I'll be walking from school and they just be on the corner spitting. It was poetry. And so, just what do you guys usually do as far as navigating making music that feels good as well as music that you can be proud of?
I'll start. I can start with that. So, as long as I'm speaking from here, I know, especially as of late, really tuning myself to say, what am I really feeling? That's number one. And number two is when I approach my verse, I am thinking like, did I sound like this is going to be different than what you would expect?
Right.
When I hit that beat, as long as I'm doing those two things where it's like, on that last joint, my approach was different than someone might expect, at least from myself.
Right.
And when you take the polish that you've accumulated and you start to put that out, it's always going to be nice as long as you have those two things, is what I think. Like, I can't see Fly coming on something that I ain't gonna like. You know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah. But the challenge, that challenge is it's really just being true to yourself and staying there. That's it.
I do, and this kind of speaks to Kendall's stuff. I mean, it's somewhat mind tricks. It's like visualize. I believe these days, and Jay and I were talking about this too. It's kind of like that whole topic about when you get in the booth, believing that the rhyme is going to be there. It's kind of like freestyling and taking off the training wheels and believing the rhyme is going to find you. So I now, like when I freestyle, I don't have much planned after like the next bar. I just believe it's going to come, right? But when I used to freestyle, I used to try to worry about trying to plan like 4 bars down the line. And so that's translated into the writing process because I believe amazing, like almost like clever wordplay. Like I started that bar, right? I just believed that that beat was speaking to me and that I could hear that I was going to flip something dope with it. And if I don't touch the beat. I'll tell Jay all the time, I'm like, nah, that beat, I don't feel that one. And he's become very good at knowing the ones that I'm going to jump on. Like even a beat like that, which is a beat I typically don't rhyme on. I started that with a bar that made me say, that's the best bar that I've heard all year. And I don't know if you caught what I said, but I had to break it down to Jay. I said, the name of the song is The Devil's Dancing. So I said, whenever you're in a good place, you better believe the devil is dancing. Now that line doesn't sound like too much, but the follow-up was, I said, whenever you're in a good place, you better believe the devil is dancing. And then I followed it up with The Good Place, which is the TV show, The Good Place.
Show. Right.
And I said, no one believed that the devil was dancing. And Ted Danson was the devil in The Good Place.
In Good Place.
Right? You know what I'm saying? And that line to me was like, yo.
Everything started clicking.
How did that line find its way to me?
He's like, I don't know, Jay.
It's beautiful, man. It's beautiful.
But here's the deal, though. Here's the deal, though. The last thing to this, though, is if you're truthful with what music is speaking to you, it brings you back to kind of what Kendall's saying. It's like, if it's really speaking to you on the energy, then trust if you've put in the 10,000 hours. If you haven't, it's a different story. Right. I have, and a lot of us here, I know we have, right?
Yes, sir.
If you've put in the ridiculous amount of hours, something beautiful will manifest itself in that beat that is spoken to you. It will happen.
Just
trust
the universe. Yeah. Tomorrow's a full moon.
Really?
And by the way, though, I gotta end it on a negative note for you guys with this.
Oh, no. It's 11-11.
No, it's okay. I just want to challenge our listeners. I want to challenge our listeners.
It's 10:11 YM, so we
our 4 listeners at this point. I know we've got almost 1,000 of them already, but right now I feel like there's like 2. But check it out. Is this as a mathematician, I don't believe anything you guys were saying about the number theory stuff. None of it.
Really?
It's all garbage. That's my personal truth. But here's the thing. It's garbage to me, but it doesn't have to be to you. And that's the thing. Like, it's like Judicious and I, we talking back and forth on things we believe and things we don't believe, right? We go back and forth and still respect one another on it, right? Even though we come from different viewpoints. But my belief in it is just grounded in different realities that I've come to observe as true. Right? Like, for instance, you can do anything you want with the numbers, and I can do the same thing over here, and we can play with the same numbers, and we can come up with 2 totally different stories, right?
Right.
That's the thing, and that's the interpretation part of it. So for me,
perception. Yep.
Right. So for me, the numbers don't dictate my truth and reality. You put a 7 in front of me, it doesn't change anything about what's going to happen. That's my reality. For you, if it triggers a synapse in your brain and thinks something else, and it turns your reality different, then that's power, and let it be. You know what I'm saying? But for me, my power don't come from numbers, even though I do numbers full time. You know what I'm saying? Like numbers in themselves are not manifestations of God.
Well, and
to me, it's just not.
Yeah, I mean, my understanding to the way I perceive it is the spirit world communicates to you on a high energy level, and your awareness is the one thing that's most present is numbers, right? License plates, that it's on your phone now. It's just numbers everywhere, right? So my belief is that when something, because I've had this happen to me, so I know it's fact for myself, but these channels of awareness start to, you could be looking straight, right? And the number 4 is in the corner and you don't see it until you see it, right? So if you're driving and you pass by 700 cars, you didn't pay attention to any of these numbers that were passing you, but something hits you and then you see this number, and now you either go looking for the next or you don't.
Mm-hmm.
And then when you start to see, and then that, so I guess that's what I'm saying is like
that becomes real. That becomes real.
You know what I mean?
But what I'm saying is the number 4 has no special inherent power. Trust me, it does not. It does not. So I know. I am well schooled on the numerology of the Bible. I was into this stuff since the time I was 19. I read every book in the world on it. I was reading the Bible back to cover, looking for numberology. I was trying to find numerology, trying to find spiritual powers, 312. It took me into every area of research that I could possibly do because I was so interested in it because it's such an alluring context.
So you didn't find numerology in the scriptures?
No, I found numerology. I found it all over it, but to me, it doesn't have any special secret power. Like Pythagoras thought this stuff. Like they're willing to jump off bridges for the. And you know when they shut it down, Pythagoras, right? When they didn't understand what irrational numbers were, and then when someone brought it to their attention that it didn't work. Like I'm getting into stuff that we don't need to get into on the show, but like you square the number 3, you square the number 4, you add them together, it's 25. That means the right angle across from it is the hypotenuse, and that side will be 5, which is the square root of 25. But it didn't work when the numbers didn't work out perfectly, and like Pythagoras wanted to like burn people and throw them off a bridge when they brought this to his attention. You know what I'm saying? And it was like, but what he was onto was the fact that trying to make things fit right into some other box. Sometimes it just doesn't actually work because you want it to be true, right?
You want it to be true.
Yeah, but if you do, but the power, you can make it true though. You can't, right? Because you can make it true if you find a connection, and if you find a connection, it's true for you. I'm just saying that stuff to me doesn't float the boat. Doesn't do it for me. But,
I love it.
Yeah, man.
That's
it's deep. It's deep stuff. You know, you got to have those conversations. But it's like, to me, man, it's bigger than numbers. And I'm a mathematician telling you it's bigger than numbers. That's just my opinion. You know.
No, that's huge, man.
However,
and that's
you allow the universe to speak to you.
It's got to speak, right? Matters. It's got to vibrate.
However, whether it's numbers, whether it's symbols, whether it's a yellow bird, however it speaks to you.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Mm-hmm.
That's all that matters.
Yeah.
My people, look, Yahweh, I think you might
be getting do this all night. I gotta come back. Like we gotta do this again.
Look, if I didn't have to work, I work every Saturday. I work 6 days a week. So if I didn't have to work, I'd be up to. We'd be doing this show till 1 o'clock.
Y'all gotta check out. Y'all gotta check out Friday Night Live though. For people that don't know how to do it.
Go to Friday Night Live right now.
We never tell people how to do it though. Like if you're not watching it through their link on Hip Hop Citizens, you gotta go over to hiphopcitizens.com or find Hip Hop Citizens on Facebook, and they're broadcasting live on the other feed from Hip Hop Citizens. We're on their network, so they're right after us. You
hit the little binocular thing on your phone on the search field or whatever, and type in Hip Hop, one word, Citizen Show,
and just type in their chat. Say you were talking over here, whatever. They'll put you right on too. They love bringing up guests and so forth too. So, Kendall, Judicious, Fly.
Thank you
for coming through.
Thank y'all.
Hey, Judicious, nice to meet you, and of course, Kendall, good seeing you again, girl. We're gonna have you back up here for sure.
Oh, I can't wait. We got lots to talk about.
Yeah, we gotta definitely do that. The collective chat live. We're definitely down.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
down.
Right.
down.
Have a good night, gentlemen.
All right, y'all.
All right, y'all. Peace,
y'all.
Peace.